Yeah, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday, April 5th. Boy, I tell you what, if you are feeling like a bagel and a bucket of grits, welcome to AMC Entertainment, where the drama and the twists and turns never end. Oh my God. Just when we think we're going to coast into a nice, easy week, know what's going on. Lordy. Hopefully you guys had a chance to review my video that I put up about an hour ago. I'm here to hang out with y'all, have a drink. Maybe we'll talk some stock stuff. Definitely we'll talk about what's going on with the Chancellor's decision today. And let's see, what else? Whatever y'all want to talk about. While we're waiting for folks to get in, I did do my due diligence today and went and saw Super Mario Brothers. Not my kind of movie. I'm just going to be straight up, but I did it for you guys. I would say, first of all, I'm going to repeat, not my kind of movie, but it was only 90 minutes. I wanted to go see Air, the Nike Air Jordan movie, but it wasn't coming on till later, about an hour and a half later than I wanted to go see a movie, middle of the day. Today was just not really much happening in the markets that interested me. Once it got about noontime, high noon. So I went and saw Super Mario Brothers. It's free after all with my A-list membership. And I would say if you have kids, they're going to enjoy it. And if you are a Nintendo or Mario fan, like I grew up in the arcades playing Donkey Kong. And then of course we played all the Mario games. It's been years for me since I played those, but there's enough for you as parents where you will enjoy it. Is it going to win any Oscars? No, not going to win any Oscars, but it was entertaining and the kids will definitely enjoy it. It was a safe, good family kids movie. So take the kids to go see it. I had the chicken supreme nachos. I went to the dine-in theater. That was my only meal for the day. Chicken supreme nachos. I don't know that I will order those again. It was plenty of food, but not my favorite thing on the menu. And then I ordered a flatbread pizza. There were two options. One was pepperoni and the other one, I got the other one, whatever it was. Anyways, I probably will not get that one again. There's plenty of great stuff on the menu. I'm trying to work my way through the entire menu, and I still got a few things left, but those two things I won't be ordering again. The pepperoni flatbread pizza is great, and the regular pepperoni pizza is good too. No, I did not finish the pizza. I've got half of it left. It's about yay big, 9-10 inches. But those nachos were pretty big. It was just, they weren't bad. It's just there's better stuff on the menu. Burgers, chicken sandwich, all sorts of other great appetizers, pretzel bites. So on Twitter, someone said, "Hey Tony, your video is mislabeled. The settlement was not denied." Technically correct. The settlement was not denied. What did I put on the? Whatever I put on the thumbnail tonight, it was way too long to put in a video title. Where is it? Where is it? Share screen. Let's make sure we get the title exactly right. Not that, this. Unopposed motion to lift the status quo order due to the party's proposed settlement. That was denied. In the spirit of brevity, you guys got to work with me on those thumbnails a little bit. Pyro, I'm not in the mood for bullshit tonight. Adios, amigo. All right, moving on, guys. Don't fuck with Denaro tonight. We ain't bullshitting around. I don't care. I don't care who I got to boot tonight. I'm here to have fun, not listen to bullshit. I will answer whatever questions you guys got, though. Arthur says, Tony, if this judge said that they want all of us to be represented to dismiss, why not say the same thing when the damn suit was filed? Well, the plaintiffs, Allegheny, filed it as a class action. So whatever the judge's decision was today was because of the way the plaintiffs filed the case. Filed as a class action, you can't apparently, look, guys, I'm learning. I know a little bit about the legal process, but I'm, as I've said many times, I'm not an attorney. I'm certainly not an expert on Delaware specific court law, and it is a beast unto itself. That's why I wish that the Chancery Daily, who I pay to get information from, I wish they would have put something out before 2 a.m. on Tuesday, and then I wouldn't have opened my big flapper, my mouth, saying that that there would be a settlement, because his first post when he read the thing that there was a settlement, he said, I talked about this yesterday when we were live with May, that he said, don't count on Chancellor Zern rubber stamping this. So yeah, I wish he would have posted earlier. I would have told y'all that. Most of the time, in my experience, when a settlement is made in a case, the judge just says, yeah. But this is a different beast. Some of y'all might have already known that. I'm just learning how some of this Delaware court stuff works. So I was wrong on that. And the fact that this is a class action suit, the judge is saying you can't go cut a deal when you filed it as a class action, because there are people in the class that the court needs to consider, not just you two parties coming up with an agreement. So that's where we're at. Does that mean the settlement is dead? Maybe not. But the judge wants to go, the judge does not want to be rushed. Let's say that. Can we agree that that is basically where we're at? She's like, you can come up with whatever settlement you want. I need to hear and see more information. And since it was filed as a class action, she is thinking on behalf of all of you to carefully consider the lawsuit, what was alleged. Cheers to one and all, haters, lovers, likers, viewers, and rando drop-ins. Welcome. Noisy Korax, what's up, amigo? Hey, you want to come join in? I can shoot you over an invite if you want to join in on the live stream. Shoot me a DM on Twitter, because I don't know how to get a hold of you. But let me know in the chat if you DM me, and you can come in. I know you've been covering some of this too on your YouTube channel, and I'm certainly not entertaining enough to host this by myself. I might be after a couple drinks in, but it's been a long day, guys. I'm just getting started. Brandon, what's up? Milwaukee, Wisconsin, next IPA. Cheers. Have one on me. Don't forget, guys, top shelf drinks only when you order. Send the bill to my secretary, please. Drinks are on me tonight. Did AMC show the judge the vote results? I'm sure the judge knows the vote results, yes. The judge talked about Rule 23 in her letter. And this is the same thing that Chance, the lawyer, was talking about today and again today on a follow-up post, that once you file a class action, the judge is not likely to just let you create a settlement. That was my bad. Like I said, Delaware Court of Law, this specific court handles all the corporate cases. So it's its own beast. It's got a long history of precedent and way of doing things that I'm no particular expert in. In fact, I'm learning it just along with you guys. So sometimes I'll throw opinions out there because this is a talk show. This is an opinion show. And sometimes I get shit wrong. Welcome to the suck. We're all learning, and my intent always is to try and provide you, for the most part, as much fact-based content, and you'll know when it's my opinion. I'll tell you. Mark it on the calendars, though. Tony Denaro was wrong. We got one on 2023. Chad says, what does this mean for the price action? It's unwinding what it was doing on Monday. AMC is going to go back up. APE is going to go back down because now the certainty, or the edging towards certainty of a conversion and reverse split, well, that is now in doubt again. Steven says, Tony, can you tell Zern I'll settle for $100 a share on AMC? I haven't talked to the judge. Brandon, thank you, amigo. My next six-pack will be in honor of Brandon, or the next shot, anyways. Jim says she will probably throw the settlement out entirely since Allegheny doesn't represent shareholders based on vote results. I would tend to agree with that, Jim. I'm still going to repeat what I've been saying, and I could be wrong again, and you guys have another chance to throw rocks at me, shoot arrows in my back. I still say, is my opinion, that if this goes to a decision, AMC will prevail based on the fact that everything that they have done there's precedent for all of it, everything that AMC's done. But look, that's my opinion based on reading the law and reading many other corporate filings that are very similar to what AMC did with APE. Like I said, the only thing I could have found that AMC did that was different was instructing ComputerShare to vote all of the non-votes in proportion with the cast votes. That was different. Most other corporations that had this type of setup with preferred shares and the way that we did APE, I got a cat wanting to get in the show here. Most of the other corporations that had done stuff like this told the transfer agent, don't vote those other shares. So we'll see. I guess Judge Zern is gonna let things keep going. As far as who was afraid to be deposed, who is afraid of discovery, guys, AMC's already provided tens of thousands of pages of discovery. It's already been provided. AMC had no problem being deposed. It was the plaintiffs that did not want to be deposed. You guys remember that, right? That AMC had to file a motion to compel the plaintiffs to be deposed, which they finally relented and agreed to. And then surreptitiously, miraculously, let's settle before we got to be deposed on April 6th. But everybody wants to blame it on Adam Aaron. Who was the one that decided to settle before they had to be deposed? The plaintiffs. AMC was already scheduled to be deposed, and they've already provided shit ton of discovery. So I say let it go forward. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still my opinion that the reason AMC was incentivized to settle is they're worried about their balance sheet. They're worried about the checking account being drained, and they don't want to go a whole quarter without having to raise money. It's not going to be good news in May if they come to the table and say, we've got $300 million left in the bank, because we couldn't raise money because of this lawsuit. Telling you right now, it's not going to be good in the press, on Wall Street. So for those of you that are excited about AMC not raising money, we are going to get brutalized in May if we're down to 300 million in cash. Just saying. And if I was AMC, as much as I would not want to do it, I would go issue another billion or two APE and sell them. And you're going to watch APE drop to 50 cents. And it's not going to be pretty. And all of our ownership in the company is going to get brutalized with massive dilution. Both AMC and APE. We're all going to get brutalized. Thank you, physiologist. Appreciate you. Let me see. Noisy Korax. Did you? Hey, I see your DM. I'm going to shoot you over a link to join in case you want to, my friend. I have never spoke to this person before, but I know that he covers some of this lawsuit stuff. I don't even know what he has to say. So come in and give us your thoughts. Or you got the DM. All right, Kat, you got to get off my table. I don't know. I'm standing up. I don't know how he got up here. Big ass motherfucker. You want to be on camera? This table's like 5 feet off the ground. Grandpa Barney, what's up? Yuka, Brav's car, Blazing. Ellie, what's going on? Doc Zeno, what's up, amigo? Blue Sky says if they issue more APE, it would change the ruling. I mean, I think that AMC can issue, they can create more APE. It doesn't change anything. I don't know exactly though, because there's already been the vote and the vote had numbers of shares on it. That's a good question if they can do it. I mean, if I was AMC and I could do it, if I could issue more APE, they're going to want more cash on the balance sheet before they report earnings in May. So whether or not they can do it, because we already had a vote, I'm just talking out loud here. I do not want to entertain the idea of getting to May, having the balance sheet run down another couple $100 million. All right. Noisy Korax is joining in. What's up, amigo?
Not a whole lot.
I know there's a couple people, yourself and Stock Retail, that I've watched a couple of your videos. I know you're covering the lawsuit, but I don't watch a lot of other channels, and I don't know if I remember exactly what your thoughts are on it. But welcome, and tell us your channel name for those who haven't heard of you yet.
Yeah, I'm Noisy Korax here on YouTube, and over on Twitter, Sunny Korax, which I use over there. But I have it as the header name as the YouTube channel. But really, this whole following like the lawsuits thing is just kind of new. I got real lucky that I started doing stuff for my YouTube channel again right as Chancery Daily dropped her first article about when the first lawsuit dropped from Allegheny.
Is it a female, Chancery Daily?
I'm not for sure, because I know Chancery Daily is an actual news article publication up there in Delaware for the actual court, like not directly, but an independent group. But I was following another YouTube channel, The Common Sense Skeptic, and he did a video with her about one of the, and I say her because that's the pronoun that they used. So someone, at least that they were in contact with for Chancery Daily, was female. So that's just what I've been using. It could be a he, it could be a her. I'm not for certain. I've not actually met the person. So
they do seem very knowledgeable, though, right?
They are.
Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I toss out opinions, but I will always defer to their opinions. They've been right every time that they've said something.
Mhm.
And I try not to say much until I've, on this particular case, until I've had a chance to read their updates. But they left me
Yeah.
hanging on Monday. They left me hanging. So I had to guess that the judge would take the settlement. And boy, was I wrong.
I will have to say this week has been painful for me too, because I had been working on a video about the like legal workings of the case and where I thought it was going before, you know, all the settlement business comes in. Monday, I dropped that video Monday morning. Monday evening, after I'd said, you know, AMC is probably going to win this lawsuit on the merits. Settlement drops that Monday evening. I'm like, okay, well then I'll just, you know, get a video. I'll watch I'll look at the article from Chancery Daily, and I'll see, I'll get that in and I'll rush it out. Got the video out before I had to go to work this morning. And what do you know? Vice Chancellor Zern comes back with her ruling as I'm driving home from work. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
G Money says, if APE is a dividend, I'm just going to stop you right there, G Money. It was not a dividend. It was a distribution of stock. It was basically a stock split.
Like some people will use the term like a stock dividend, but like, it's a reverse split. Like it's just a funny way of saying
when he handed us APE, he might have used the word dividend, or it acts like a dividend. Guys, it was not a dividend.
It's a split, but just like using a different word.
GME's stock split was not a dividend.
Yeah.
This is why I tell you, you got to be really, really careful when you believe what CEOs say. Come check me, because come check with me. I'll tell you if it's a dividend. And it was not going to act like a share count either. We talked about all of this stuff. But that's water under the bridge at this point.
But yeah, that's basically how I got into this mess. Was I basically did a video when the Allegheny stuff dropped, and I got that video up, and that was a lot of fun because I had a bunch of people, because I had gotten out with that so soon that not even the news outlets were reporting on it yet. And so everyone's like, oh, you're just full of shit. Come on, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then it dropped. I'm like, who was right?
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen now? Is it your opinion that we're going to go all the way to the preliminary injunction on the 27th?
Ooh. I mean, see, the big problem was, as Chancery Daily pointed out, they tried to pull a fast one on the Vice Chancellor. So the way her ruling sounded, they hadn't even filed the settlement papers with the court yet. Like, what the fuck, guys? So, I mean, if the court isn't even aware of what you're doing, they just have to keep going like, you know, nothing else has happened. So until they, you know, get their house in order and say, hey, this is a thing we're doing, the court has to keep on going like nothing else has happened. So I'd say right now, until they change the scheduling or anything like that, yeah, we're probably just going ahead as if the hearing was going to happen.
Depositions of the plaintiffs are scheduled for on or before April 6th. That's tomorrow.
Yep, the 6th is the deadline for all of the discovery, which really makes this all sorts of.
Yeah, I wonder if they've been doing depositions while all of this was playing out.
I mean, you would think if they were competent lawyers, you'd do it anyway, because this is still a, you know, up in the air thing. You just keep moving along and hope it gets through.
I'm not a big believer in any of the conspiracy theory shit. I'm
not either.
Nobody's.
That's why I followed you when I saw you. It's like, oh, finally, someone who's not opium bumping this fucking stock. Praise Jesus.
I don't think that anybody's scared of a deposition. You don't file a lawsuit if you're scared of a deposition. And of course, AMC knew they were going to be deposed. This is all of this to try and get it over with is about the balance sheet.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what I had said in my last video, that like, I have a feeling the reason I don't think it's a coincidence that this settlement came out the same day that AMC announced when its Q1 earnings call was going to be.
Yeah.
they're not happy. They're looking at the balance sheet and going, oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't regularly tune into my channel, I've talked about this all the time. There's so many people in this play that think this company is doing great. I mean, Adam Aaron just said we had 1-day concessions that made a new record. Guys,
His job is to say the best
Let
parts.
me wake you up here. Like 1 day of concessions is not going to make your quarter.
No.
Like, let's live in a world of reality here.
The popcorn is a nice idea, but it's also it's a movie theater company, guys. It's a movie theater.
The
company.
popcorn is going to be fantastic down the road, but I mean, they can't keep it on the shelves. We need 3 shifts, 3 lines, cranking out that popcorn, and I don't think they're there yet. And we need wider distribution than just a couple Walmart stores. It's in like only 3 out of 12 stores in my area, and I've only been able to ever find it in one of those 3. So
I haven't seen it anywhere here, and I live an hour drive from the fucking corporate office.
Oh, you're up in Kansas, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you're up in Doc Zeno's world. Doc Zeno, you guys should meet for drinks and compare notes. Sometimes we call Doc Zeno, he's like, he might be Adam Aaron for all we know, because he lives up in that area.
I was very tempted to call into work and go to the shareholders meeting, but then they told me, yeah, we're not going to allow any recording or anything like that. I'm like, well, then what's the point if I can't do anything for my channel?
Hey, what do you think about the people that think they're going to show up at court for the preliminary injunction on the 27th and have a chance to speak,
First of all, I dealt briefly with the people who thought that their letter writing, their pen pal campaign to Vice Chancellor Zern was going to work. And first of all, ex parte communication with the judge is a big no, 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 no. You do not contact the judge. In fact, I haven't finished the video yet, but I was covering one of the MMTLP lawsuits. And the first thing that the person tries to do when they weren't getting what they wanted out of this judge is they started calling the judge's chambers. You don't do that, guys. Right. You don't do that.
They're not very happy when you call and email them. Although someone asked me in the comments, how do we contact them? And they have provided instructions where you can mail them a letter along with a $2 a page fee so that they can scan it and enter it into the record. But just like you were saying, with
other than that,
with ex parte communications, like I don't know. That's not my area of expertise. I know what ex parte communications is, but I don't know that a letter writing campaign to the judge, how effective that would be.
Yeah. I mean, when you're dealing with something like the Delaware Court of Chancery, where they're and this may seem foreign to a lot of people who are used to seeing courts, on TV where you got a jury and everything. No. In these courts and a lot of federal courts too, the judge is the finder of fact and law. So you kind of have to treat the judge like they're the jury, because they are. So these emails, when you're sending them ex parte, that'd be like in the middle of a trial trying to send an email to sway a juror. You just don't do that.
That's the basis of what ex parte means.
Yeah. So like those emails, I doubt Vice Chancellor Zern has seen them. I'm sure they were filed on the record. I'm sure if there's things that are procedural that they think that, one of these parties to it or like a shareholder is concerned about, I don't think that the trial's being handled properly. Maybe they might bring it up to the judge, but there's no way that any of these letters are actually making it to the judge.
I think for anyone who's listening in, if you seriously, have a concern, hire an attorney and file your own suit. That will be a lot more effective than writing a letter.
That's what I think a lot of these people are missing. The only way that you can have standing in front of the court is by actually appearing before the court. You make a filing with the court, you get a lawyer, you go down there and you say, I want my voice heard here in these proceedings. That's the only way it happens.
Here's something else funny that I've been thinking about and talking with my folks in the Discord. A lot of these people are really mad. They were mad about the proposed settlement because it was going to be paid out in AMC shares, and that would have been dilutive to us. And I did speak to our accountant, who tells me that this would be paid out. What was the word he used? It would be paid out in a liability account because it was a settlement.
Mhm.
So as far as the books of AMC, it wouldn't be considered like a dividend. It would be paid out as a settlement in a liability account. But that's not where I'm going with this.
Mhm.
People are mad that there would be a settlement, a dilutive settlement. So they said, we don't like this. Let's file our own court case, our own class action suit, and let's go get some damages. Well, how do you think you're going to be paid out?
Yeah. Like the
You're going to be
filing.
paid out the same way, by
Yeah.
harming all shareholders,
Yeah.
including yourself, because you own the company. But if you win against the company, if you
Mhm.
prevail, the company's going to pay out money to everybody in the class
And that's going to
out
hurt
of
the
cash
share
or out of shares. Like,
price.
there's no other way about it. Oh, well, let's just back out Ape. Guys, that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
Backing out Ape is not going to happen.
And like the settlement proposal made it pretty clear. I can't remember exactly. I have to pull it up, but there's a specific line in the settlement that says we're doing this now and we want this done now because the chances for recovery are getting slimmer the longer this goes on. So like if you think that there's going to be some way that you're going to craft a lawsuit to get a different settlement, look, there's a reason why AMC is paying it out in shares. They don't have cash to give you guys.
Right. I think they want Ape just to be backed out, just like the MMTLP people want the just wind the
Right.
clock back and let us
No.
trade it. That's not going to happen.
The problem is that it's already happened.
Yeah.
If you had a problem with Ape, your time to sue to stop Ape was back in April or August or September.
So I say again to those people, if you really have a boner about it, go file your own court case. But you probably should leave it to the people with the money that already filed on your behalf, and then just hope for the best. If I was really hateful of what was going on with Ape and the conversion reverse split, I would probably just defer to the people that have the money and already filed a class action on my behalf.
What I'm really worried about, because if this settlement does move along and the course it's going, and you get the preliminary approval of some settlement, whatever that might be, and it goes to the next step, which is you let the shareholders know they have their chance to say their piece on it in front of the court. I'm worried that's going to be like, I don't know if you were following the AVCT situation. I know I brought that up in my last video.
I did way back when. It's AVCTQ now, right?
Yes, because they're bankrupt. Basically what happened, to give a brief preface on that, is they were going to sell the candy assets on that, and everyone got it in their mind that someone like AT&T or some big company was going to come in. They were going to pay billions of dollars for it,
like the Bed Bath and Beyond people.
Yes, those kind of hopium stories. And go figure, a company that's trading for like, what was it at that time? Maybe like 20-30 million in market cap is not going to sell for billions of dollars. They're just going to pay you out on the market cap, buy out your shares and call it a day.
You try and explain this to people, but no one ever wants to listen. Same thing I said with MMTLP. Like, the price before you guys FOMO'd it up was the value of the company. Wall Street already had the price figured. You guys ran it up on FOMO.
But the candy assets ended up selling for a little under $7 million. They got all but hurt. They decided to file to go before the court. The judge told them, you're late. You're very late. We started this process back in January and you had no problems till now. So what changed your mind? And then part of the problem is they hadn't gotten representation yet. So they were in front of the judge pro se, which I don't know if any of you out there viewing understands what that means, but you don't have legal representation. You're representing yourself, which courts will give you some lenience, but they will still expect you to understand proper court decorum. And they tried to basically get a preliminary injunction to stop the sale. And the company's like, whoa. There's a reason why we're in bankruptcy court. We're running out of cash. And we've got, what people don't understand is when a CEO in a company has a fiduciary duty, that's not just a fiduciary duty to the shareholders, that's like the debt holders too, and the employees. So they were basically putting the company in a pretty big bind. And so of course and they couldn't even prove that there was any other buyer out there. So of course the judge tossed it, and things went on. But it was a hearing that should have taken 15 minutes, and it turned into an hour and 15-minute mope session where almost every one of these shareholders tried to cry poor in front of the judge, and the judge was having none of it. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen when we get to this point in AMC.
Was that in the Delaware court?
No, this was federal bankruptcy court, Delaware bankruptcy court, but it wasn't in the Court of Chancery.
Delaware bankruptcy court. All right, I need to go look that up because
get a Pacer account. It's really useful when you have all these like legal things, if you are interested in following that stuff. But
yeah,
a Pacer account allows you to get a hold of all the federal filings for any federal court.
I'm mostly not interested in following that stuff. Like I call the play, buy in when it's moving, sell when it peaks. Don't get caught up in bankruptcy or court cases.
Oh yeah.
You gotta take the money, run, and move on. Like this does not serve us as investors trying to fight MMTLP and NextBridge in court and FINRA for years. Like you had a chance to sell that one, and the ABCT people did too. Like all of this stuff.
Yeah, the problem with the MMTLP thing was that people were trying to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted their short squeeze, which means you have to eventually sell. But they also wanted their NextBridge shares, and you ended up getting caught in this
because people were lying to them about the value of the assets. This was like totally horrible due diligence. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but I looked at it and I don't believe jack shit that all of these YouTubers were saying about the valuation of anything.
I have an entire like Twitter Spaces call with Bronco, who had done a huge deep dive on that back when the MMTLP thing first started, and he got run through the mud and is getting run through the mud again for bringing it back up on his I told you so march. But there's a lot of stuff with that whole Torchlight MMTLP mess that was just blech.
I do feel bad about the whole FINRA, rug pulling people. I get that. That would piss me off too, but
I understand why they did it, but I can understand why you'd be pissed that it happened.
Yeah, both. So yeah, I mean, I'm more the type like take the money, run, move on, and just like Chris is saying here at the chat I have up on the screen, take the money that you as a AMC investor right now, if you're thinking about spending tens of thousands hiring an attorney to represent you in the Delaware Chancery Court, I would wait and see what happens after the conversion and reverse split and spend that money buying AMC after, if there's dilution, if it makes the price come down and you still plan on holding your original position, that money is much better off averaging down if the price drops.
Yeah, and there was something I was going to say there on that, but whoops, that went with the wind.
Kathy N, what's up? Kathy says, all in the UK, a litigant in person would be treated the same as a represented person.
Yes. I'm just saying, my fear about it is you're going to get people that are going to turn it into a three-ring circus. Not saying all AMC investors are like that. I just have seen some of the more.
This is not fucking family law court. If you're going to go to the Delaware Chancery, you need to have a Delaware Chancery experienced lawyer, and that is not going to come cheap.
Definitely, especially since it's a very narrow and specific part of corporate law.
Exactly.
For most people, it's the people who are like, oh, we're going to expose all the short sellers and the failure to delivers and everything through this trial. It's like, if that was going to happen, the plaintiffs would have put that in their case.
Hulk Hogan says, show me one stock that has not dumped after a reverse split. That's a great question, Hulk Hogan. I've already answered it about a month ago. I've got a video that shows you a bunch of examples of stocks that have not dumped after a reverse split. So please subscribe to the channel. Watch every video that I put out. I try and think of your questions in advance and provide you the evidence. guys, if your experience with reverse splits is penny stocks, let's just draw a picture of a line going from $5 to 10 cents. You know, that long ride down to zero. That's a trash penny stock. And most of you, when you're familiar with reverse splits, these trash penny stocks are going to zero and they're reverse splitting because their fundamentals are absolutely wrecked.
Yep.
And a reverse split is a last ditch effort to stay on the big board. So they reverse split and then the trend continues. The trend just continues. They fall after a reverse split because they were already falling and they're going to continue to fall till they bankrupt. So don't blame the reverse split. Blame the trash piece of company that you're following. But if you go watch my video where I show you examples of small cap stocks like AMC that have billion-dollar valuations, multi-billion-dollar valuations, I did the research on about 20 different stocks in the last 2 years in the category of AMC that did reverse splits. And guess what? They did not all go into the toilet. I had no idea when I did the screening what the results would be, but I shared every single one of them with you. So go watch that.
People say fundamentals are dead, and I would strongly disagree with them on that. And that's a perfect point of it. The whole the reverse split totally depends on the company. Of course, if you're chasing these penny stock, OTC, pink sheet, crap,
that was your first mistake.
That was your first mistake. The second mistake is that's tactics they'll use. They'll use the reverse split. They'll pump up the stock. They'll dilute more. Their stock will continue to fall because their fundamentals are absolute garbage. But if you're following a good company, a reverse split is
guys, a reverse split in the eyes of Wall Street is irrelevant. There's it's a math fugazi. Nothing changes. But if the fundamentals are shit, it's going to go in. It's going to continue into the shitter.
And reverse splits and splits used to be more important before we had fractional shares, because that's how you could make it more affordable or control the people that invest in your company. Now it doesn't matter so much, because if I wanted to, I could go get a fractional share of, Google or Tesla or Apple if I can't afford a whole share. It's just a accounting.
The thing that will make companies go into the shitter. That might be too harsh. The thing that will tend to have a negative influence on the price is dilution. So I've said this 1,000 times on this channel. I'm not worried about the reverse split, because that is zero mathematical difference on your position. It's zero mathematical difference on shorts. Anyone that's telling you you're losing 90% of anything, that is a fucking psyop that's been put into the emotional people's heads. You're not losing 90% of anything. That you have been manipulated into believing a false statement. And I'm not going to have that on this channel. But what you should be worried about is dilution, always in any company. That can have, and it can have a negative short-term impact on the company until what? If the company survives and then says, oh, well, we fixed our balance sheet with this. Now we've got billions of dollars and we're not going bankrupt. Guess what? A couple months later, even if you have a temporary short-term drop, things can go back up. Brian says, Tony, stop sharing all this great, truthful information.
Another point that I saw, speaking of the whole short thing, a bunch of people were thinking if the settlement went through, well, of course, that means that the shorts have to pay the settlement, thinking it's like a dividend or something. And that's not how that works. The brokers have the street name of the stock, and they know who they've lent out to. So they know who the actual shareholder is. So when the company goes out, or the court sends out its order, hey, we need the list of the shareholders, the brokers report back with who needs to be filed with. And so there's no, the shorts have to pay the settlement. That's not how that works.
Matt says, if you believe in a company's turnaround, buy more shares after the dilution price dip. That's what we just, the last statement we posted up here on the screen. Like if you're worried that the price is going to drop. I know there's going to be a lot of people that leave this play if their conversion and reverse split go through and the price drops. They're going to get mad. They're going to watch the price drop and not be happy about it. But I've said over the past few weeks, like the real ones that are going to make the most money on this play, assuming the movie industry continues to recover and AMC doesn't go bankrupt, will be the ones that buy it after the dilution dip.
Yep. That's why I've been, even though I'm just here right now for the arbitrage play, I've been looking at when the company says, 2024 is when they think, or, early 2025 is when they think it's going to go back to, pre-pandemic levels, where at least
I think
they were.
We have a shot in 2024. We got a shot.
I'm maybe not right now, but next year, maybe that'll be on a watch list that I'll keep an eye on or something like that.
I forget. Were you one of the ones that did a financial Excel spreadsheet breakdown?
Yes. I had my little calculator, the arbitrage and everything.
I mean, like when AMC is going to be profitable.
Oh, no, I have not.
Okay. I know that I saw someone else do one. I finally broke down and do it. I really hate doing spreadsheets, breaking down when a company is going to be profitable, because most of the time I don't like buying companies that aren't profitable.
I'm with you there 100%.
But it is what it is. I mean, we've been in this play hoping for a squeeze, and now we're in 2023, not 2021, and so we've been bent over by a bad economy and rising interest rates and the market effects of that. But at the same time, while that is hurting the share price, the movie industry is slowly recovering to the point where by next year we might have a chance. So I want to, not that I'm trying to pump AMC on anyone. Like, guys, this is a company with a messed up balance sheet that has negative earnings. But if you want to know the truth of when can they post positive earnings, that was the point of my more recent video. It's probably not going to be this year, but there is a good chance that they could do it next year if the industry recovers. And I think that you will see Wall Street sentiment change if AMC is posting positive earnings and they have fixed the balance sheet. You're going to probably need both. Like, just paying off the debt is not enough, right? Or just having $2 billion in cash on the balance sheet, probably not enough. They're helpful, but the real change happens when your balance sheet is correct and you're posting positive earnings.
Yeah,
just like a normal company.
I had a situation like that. I want to say it was back in 2021 or 2022. Huntington Building Products. They were like a house furnishings company and stuff like that, sort of like a Home Depot kind of place, except, smaller. They were just getting absolutely smashed in the face post-COVID. And I happened to catch them at the right time where they just had their first quarter where they were just barely by the hairs on their chin profitable. And I bought there at $4. And then they ended up getting bought out at $8 about at the end of the year. Because they had another good quarter of earnings, and it's just like, well, cool, we'll get it while it's cheap. And I got paid out on that. And, sometimes you got to find little plays that no one's looking for. And I mean, maybe in the future, if AMC turns that around, they just might be something like that.
For all the people, I still see them talking in the chat about losing 90% of our shares. Guys, I've been investing for 30 years. I have never viewed a split or a reverse split ever. I'm not just talking to you about AMC. I've never viewed a reverse split or a split as, oh boy, I've got more shares, or oh boy, I've got less shares. I realize, based on basic finance, that it is irrelevant. Nothing changes. Like, this is not a hard concept. If you believe you're losing 90% of anything, you are being fucking manipulated, and you ought to question who the hell you're listening to, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I've had this conversation twice on the subject of the same person. I'm not going to, throw people under the bus, but a reverse split or a split, the number of shares changes, the price changes, but the total economic value remains the same.
I put up GameStop on the screen here because I want to hammer this point home. Right here in August, GameStop people got 4 times the shares that they had in a 4-for-1 split. So you would think by your logic that you're losing 90% of your shares, they would be fucking ecstatic that they got 300% more shares, right? Right?
Mm.
Are you following my logic? Those of you that are bitching about losing 90% of your shares, would you be ecstatic if you got 300% more shares? Look at the fucking capitulation in the price of GameStop. What did those 300% shares do for them? Jack shit. Because it doesn't fucking matter the number of shares. You're still down from $46 to $22. It's the fundamentals of the company that matter and the market, not the number of shares.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Reverse split does not effing matter. And yes, I sold my GameStop on 3/23 at 24.25. GameStop video is about to come out. I have a GameStop earnings video that I've been sitting on for a couple days. I'll try and get that out tomorrow. But it was a fantastic quarter for them, and I think
that's what I had heard.
I think if they post a couple more positive quarters, they'll be just fine. But for the moment,
I think
it's going to gap fill back down. So I sold when it ran up, and I'll rebuy when it drops.
I haven't been totally on board with everything they've done, but of the meme stocks, like GameStop seems like the strongest at this moment as far as what
if they can post a couple quarters in a row of positive earnings, they're going to be fine. They got no debt. They had a positive quarter, but it was Q4. And that's always a big quarter for them. They've got to show the ability to do that multiple quarters in a row. That's why they're so focused on cost cutting right now. They're doing everything right. I'm going to have nothing bad to say about GameStop in my upcoming video. But other than they need to repeat that 2 more quarters in a row, 3 more quarters in a row, and that's a solid play.
Yeah.
Right now, the jury's still out. That's why you're seeing the price drop. And I'm saying the jury's still out in big institutions' mind. They know what's going on with digital games. They're telling GameStop, you got to show us. You got to show us. 1 quarter of Q4 is not enough.
Yeah, that one will definitely be interesting because, well, like I said, I think they've got the best chance to figure something out. I'm not totally sold. I think they got kind of lost in the weeds trying to do the whole NFT marketplace at what ended up being the bottom of the market, but you can't exactly blame them. I'm kind of high on. I don't have shares currently, but I'm kind of high on Intel bouncing back. But they also timed it poorly too. They saw how high GPUs were starting to get in the market because of all the crypto craze. They released their GPU. It was kind of undercooked, and it ended up being that they released it near the bottom of the market and ended up punching them in the face. So,
what do you? I'm going to let Korax talk for a minute because I'm going to bring up someone saying AMC is going to be shorted back down to $5. Korax, while I'm bringing this up, do you want to talk about market cap in terms of what that would mean?
Oh, that's yeah. To go from 5 to 3, I don't think that'll have anything to do with it being shorted down. I mean, the arbitrage might put it around, like, I want to say probably 4, somewhere between 350 and 4, maybe 450. It's really hard to tell, but like, I don't think that has anything to do with it being air quotes shorted down.
It has to do with it because, I mean, imagine what the market cap would be if AMC was 155 million shares with a 50-cent market cap. Do the math for me real quick while I'm pulling it up.
Let's see here. Because like I know the arbitrage is going to happen.
It's 75 million bucks, right?
Yeah.
The lowest market cap that I see here, going all the way back to 2020, when there were no movies being shown, is 258 million.
Mm-hmm.
That was when there were no movies being shown. The economy was completely shut down. 258 million. Now we are a company with billions of box office coming in. I just do not see, in terms of market cap, any chance that AMC is going to be, just logically, financially speaking, how we could get to a $5 price point after a reverse split, even if we were shorted into oblivion.
Oh, after the reverse split, I was thinking.
Yeah, it would
no.
be.
Oh yeah, no.
It would be the fucking deal of a lifetime. Like
yeah, because even factoring the reverse stuff. Okay, that makes more sense now. I don't know why I was
216 million in April.
Apparently, need to just back off the cup of whiskey I got going on here. Anyway, yeah, that with the reverse split price, you're looking at somewhere around 20, 24, 25, 30 bucks. Like, whoa, no. And in fact, most of those shorts are going to leave when the arbitrage closes. So
if there were 155 million shares and you're saying it's going to drop to $5, wait, maybe my math is off. 155 million times $5. That is 775 million. Well, I mean, maybe it could get dropped down that low, but that is basic. You're basically saying you're going to drop it down as low as when we had no movies coming out. All right. That is the market cap of September 2020. Still, when no movies were being shown. I just don't see it. I don't see us getting dropped to a market cap like we were showing no movies, making no money, on the brink of recovery, billions of dollars potentially on the balance sheet, and retail popcorn sales. I just don't see it. That makes no logical sense to me. Could the price get beaten down because of dilution? Yes. $5. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Come back and throw rocks if I'm wrong, though. You're welcome to do that.
Yeah, no. I'm more than willing, unlike some people, to take my L's.
Yeah.
Like this whole week. This whole week has been one big L. But
so where do you hail out of? Where are you joining us from?
Kansas.
Oh yeah, you said that. Kansas. Yeah. Not too far from. So you're paid by AMC or what?
Yeah, I wish. No.
I get accused of that a lot.
Oh gosh, man, I had this same sort of thing where it's like, oh, you must be paid by the shorts. It's like, man, if someone would hook me up with that fund, like give me the Citadel, call me anytime you'd like. I'm pretty buyable. No one's called me yet though.
Yeah, I've gotten zero outreach from anybody. And if I did get outreach from a hedge fund or AMC, I would certainly tell y'all, because I don't need money from anybody to express my opinion.
Yeah, I used to way back of YouTube do a podcast. I don't have that channel anymore. I closed it up and everything, but as a joke, this was when the 9/11 truther movement was really big. And so I made a joke of cold calling a bunch of government agencies, wondering where I can get in on their shill hotline because everyone would, when I would talk about that stuff, would just call me a shill for the government. And it's like, okay, let's play this game. Who wants to pay me? I'll open up the bids.
KB Corp says, when did it become our responsibility to save AMC? It is definitely not your responsibility. And if you don't like the way things are going, this is your moment to get out, right? You were here for a short squeeze. You were here for a short squeeze like all of us. And if you don't like the way things are going, no one is holding you to stay here, right? all of the clickbaiters that gave you ridiculous price targets and talk about synthetic shares, which I have not done ever on this channel, never provided you any evidence. So if there's anyone you should be mad at, it should be them or the person in the mirror who held on to a stock too long. Like, I still think that when there's high short interest and high cost to borrow, that something spicy could happen. But I'm not discarding the fact that dilution is in our near-term future, and you should not either. And you need to make your own decisions. We're not in 2021 right now. No one's holding you hostage to hold this stock.
Yeah.
And the fact that you listen to people who gave you hopium with no evidence and you still continue to do it, then go blame them. Don't come here and complain on my channel, because we have not done that.
The big thing, I would agree that, cost to borrow and stuff like that and failure to deliver can be, a prelude to something spicy. I get the feeling that there's a lot of people who point to it but don't understand what it is. Like, cost to borrow is getting into the short position, not getting out of it. So it's one of those things that, like, there are definitely signals out there for potential short squeeze or different things like that, but you got to be really careful that you understand what you're pointing to when you're looking at those sort of things.
I'm going to say here on the live what I've been telling the folks in the Discord and what I've said on many other plays. As I watch securities move towards a moment like AMC is getting to, with a reverse split and a potential dilution, I've seen this many times, guys, where the cost to borrow is really high and the short interest could even be phenomenally higher than it is right now. Bed Bath & Beyond is a great example, recent. When they know dilution is coming, the shorts are not scared.
Yeah, that's free money.
Right? So for me, being honest with you, the best case right now is for something spicy to happen, some unknown catalyst to happen before the reverse split, the conversion, and any potential dilution. After that, all bets are off the table. I have not been someone here pounding that the reverse split and the conversion are scaring the shorts, are going to cause a MOAS. I've never said that. I think you should be worried about conversion. You should be worried about dilution in any play. But it is they're in trouble right now. If some good news comes out with a high cost to borrow and a high short interest, right now the fire is set. We need the spark. If we make it all the way to dilution, then you need to be careful. That's why I say use prudence in buying anything right now. And for myself, I'm not doing anything other than waiting. And if it is diluted and if it drops, I've got cash on the side and I'll consider buying at that time. But right now, I've got my position. I've got my risk. I'm not trying to add risk to my portfolio other than what I got.
Especially right now, adding risk is kind of a bad thing.
In
like
this market, this market, adding risk is crazy.
That's why most of my money right now is either sitting on the sideline or is in this arbitrage play. Or in bonds, because I've been very precise about picking my spots, because of all the rates going up and everything. Like, here's a list of the plays I've been in the past 6 to 12 months. I was in Twitter for the Twitter payout, and I made pretty good bank on that one. I kind of wish I had taken options, but that's a little hard to time. And
I had options on that play, but my timing was off.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about it. Here's how I screwed up on it. I knew that this was going to be a bit of a long trial, and there was no way that people were going to get it. They were making bets that they shouldn't have, like weeklies while this is in trial in the Delaware Court of Chancery. Are you serious? You're buying weeklies? So what I did is I had my position in my brokerage account that I just kept and left. And then I had one in my IRA, which I was selling covered calls on, because this trial is going to take months, guys. Like, why are you buying weeklies? Give me that free money. I'll take it every time. Give me 50. It was $50 a week per 100 shares. Are you kidding me? I'd take that every time. And then the surprise conclusion of Musk deciding, okay, I don't want to be in this lawsuit anymore. It paid out fine on my brokerage account. I got the full money on that. Unfortunately, I still have those covered calls in my IRA account, and that kind of punched me in the face. But I mean, what can you do? I didn't lose money. I just lost the potential of more money.
It's so tough right now on AMC and Ape trying to figure out what's going to happen buying options. It is literally a crapshoot because every other day we get some different ping pong news.
That's what happened is I had the options set for April like everyone else. And then the lawsuit came out and I had to roll out of those. And what I decided was, I don't know when this lawsuit's going to be. So I looked at what's the furthest dated output options to cover my arbitrage play. Oh, I see January 2025. That sounds great to me. Is it pricey? Am I going to not be able to maximize my profit as much? Sure. But my risk is like near the floor.
Someone asked, what do we think the price would be if we were to convert and reverse split today? I would estimate $23 based on market cap divided by the new float.
Yeah, that's the thing that keeps confusing me is why that hasn't like I get it now that the lawsuit's kind of upheavaled again, but before even the lawsuit, like there was a huge gap between the price in AMC and Ape, and I was just like, excuse me. Like that's always been the part of this play that's confused me, and why when the arbitrage potential first happened, that I was like busily trying to tell people. I understand it's a cardinal sin to tell people to sell their AMC shares, but I was like, guys, why are you buying the same? Why are you paying twice as much for the same share of the company? If you're going to spend your money, buy Ape because it's like a third of the price. What are you doing? It's silly.
I said that, and I said it more often and more vocally the closer it got to $1 and under $1. And I still get people. I had someone in my comments today. I'm so tired of Tony telling us we should have bought Ape when it was 66 cents. Like, why are you tired of that? Like, that was the smart advice.
You should have been listening.
You should have been listening. You guys don't like me because you're listening to people that are giving you
telling you
advice
to buy the same company
because they hate Adam Aaron, they hate Ape. Like that was the play of the decade. Buying it for 66 cents, you could have sold it for $3.
We've had several plays of the decade, all in the past 2 years, like the Twitter play, this arbitrage.
You can hate me as a person all you want, but I'm here to help you fucking recognize opportunities. That was an opportunity. Like I don't know why anyone missed that.
I know why some people missed it initially before the Antara deal came out, because they just saw it as a dilution tool. And that's why everyone fled out of it so fast. But afterwards, I don't know why people didn't take advantage when they could. I was really tempted because I was pretty sure that I wanted to hedge my bets, I guess, like my, what was it? 4,000, 6,000 shares of Ape that I held was going to mean anything in the vote. And clearly it wouldn't have. What I really should have done was right on the record day when Ape was all the way up there at $3, just sold and then rebought after it dumped, because that would have been the smart play.
G Money says, is it true the main disadvantage of owning preferred shares is that the investors don't enjoy the same voting rights? It depends on the company and how their preferred shares are set up. GS Money, in the case of AMC, these preferred shares, you need to go read about blank check preferred stock, which is a common security. It's a common vehicle that companies that incorporate in Delaware put into their charters. It is a benefit of incorporating in Delaware. Many, many companies have it. Tesla has it. GameStop has it, among others. Many, almost all, I would say, have blank check preferred stock. And the benefit of that is mostly for anti-takeover, but blank check means that when you decide to activate that preferred stock, you can set whatever rules you want about it, including voting rights. So when AMC activated those 10 million preferred stock and created a billion ape, they gave them voting rights equal to common shares. One ape unit equals one common stock. So yes, typically preferred shares might have different voting rights than common, but it depends. There's no hard, and you can't just Google it. And I know that's what people have done. They Google preferred stock and post it on Twitter or Reddit.
Mhm.
You need to Google blank check preferred stock and become educated on that.
Yeah. And look at the company's charter, because I think there's a big reason why the two lawsuits before they merged, there was two different ones. I think there's a big reason why Allegheny had the whole big thing about, section 242B, and the other lawsuit didn't, because the non-Allegheny one, the Munoz one, didn't have it. Yeah, Munoz didn't have it because they realized it was a losing thing to bring that up.
That's why I said the Munoz lawsuit was actually looked like it was written by intelligent people.
Mm-hmm.
The Allegheny looked like it was written by a fucking
it
looked like it was written by a kindergarten YouTuber.
Well, here's the thing is, and this was explained to me by someone with a little bit more of a law background that I follow on. I had on for a Twitter space named Arbitrage. He pointed out that usually when you have these lawsuits like this, you try and find like one of these pension funds or something like that. Because if you're a plaintiff who plans on holding, your shares afterwards, you're pissed off about this one thing, but you're not pissed off about the company or management. Or you're like one of these places like BlackRock, and you don't want to piss off management when you've got a bunch of funds with their stock in it and, sour that relationship. These pension funds, they do hedging and all that stuff. They're going to have 100 shares of almost every stock. So what you do is you go to them and be like, hey, we'll sweetly toss you some money and maybe a cut of this lawsuit if you'll go in and write the lawsuit out in front of us, and then we'll come in behind you. That's why their lawsuit looks like it's fucking garbo, because they're just there to get the fire started.
Yep. It was, that Allegheny lawsuit is just a hot mess the way it was written.
Yeah.
And you're not going to change my mind on that. I'm sorry. Munoz, I'm telling you, read and compare them. The way it is worded. We got kindergarten, and we got PhD.
Well, not only that, but you look at the Munoz one, they have the blacked out parts of it is because they went, and you can do this with any company. You can go to the board and be like, I want the minutes of the board meeting because I'm a shareholder.
What is that called? There's
I know
there's a section of the law. I don't remember what it is. I just learned about it.
I know I mentioned it at one point.
It's a discovery, right?
Yes.
It's a pre-discovery.
I think it's 202 discovery. But yeah, you can basically go, I'm a shareholder. This information is available to me because I'm the owner of the company. And so that's what all that blacked out stuff in their lawsuit is they pulled the records on the company and were like, look, this is the stuff they're doing.
And by the way, all companies always initially decline to acquiesce to those requests.
Yeah, that's why it's blacked out in the lawsuit too, because when you file these, it's a matter of public record. So until you get to the permission of the company to be able to show it publicly, it has to be stricken from the public record. The court knows what all the words are, but we don't get to know it because it's private company information.
Ellie says, can the judge increase the amount of shares we were getting in the settlement? I'm sure she could, Ellie.
Yes.
The judge can create whatever order she wants as a judgment.
Yeah. The judge's whole purpose in here is, and let me find I know I have it here somewhere. There's 4 standards, I believe I mentioned in my video, that determine what a judge is looking at when they're looking at a settlement to know if it's fair in like a rough approximation of like fair in air quotes, because you have to understand that you as an individual shareholder are part of a large group that has different things that they try and level the playing field to help the most people. So individual shareholders may feel one way or the other about it, but on the whole, the entire class is served. So it's based on the strength of the plaintiff's case, the risk of continued litigation, the extent of discovery completed, and the probability of success at trial. And so they look at those, and the principle is that the settlement must be fair, reasonable, and adequate, and the court must carefully evaluate the terms of the settlement before approving it. So those are the things that vice chancellors earn when they do get a settlement that isn't, full of trying to arm wrench her into doing something that she'll be looking for.
Jake says, do I like Hycroft? Jake, go watch, please, my videos on Hycroft. I did an update last week. I have nothing against Hycroft as long as you understand my viewpoint is long-term speculative play. Hycroft stopped actively mining in November of 2021. I get called a paid bear, a paid shill all the time for reading filings to you. I'm not telling you anything that's not communicated by the company, right? They stopped mining in November of 2021. They had ore on the leach pads until December of 2022. There's no inventory left at Hycroft.
Also, because it's one of those reverse merger SPACs.
That is an upcoming video I have. Let's not spoil.
Okay, so you read that article by Chancery Daily too about that.
I'm going to do a comparison of Hycroft to other junior mining speculative stocks. Hycroft is one of the few. I'll give you a tidbit to whet your appetite, guys. Most of the mines in Hycroft's position do not have debt.
Yes.
The Hycroft has a fuck ton of debt. Most of the other ones I've been looking at, and I'm going to start doing a gold and silver update every 2 weeks, not just specific to Hycroft, but just because I want to learn more. But already my due diligence is pointing me to the direction of Hycroft is an outlier. And in some ways it's good. It has a very healthy balance sheet. In some ways it's bad. It's one of the only ones that has debt. So before you say Hycroft is fairly valued or it's a great deal, I'm going to ask you, what are you comparing it to? Because I'm doing the comparison, and I'm going to bring you weeks worth of due diligence when I drop my next video. So in the meantime, all that aside, I don't want to throw Hycroft under the bus.
You got a video where you throw it under the bus.
No, I'm not going to throw it under the bus. I'm going to tell you what the company is telling you, which is they're not going to generate revenue this year. They're probably not going to generate revenue next year. So I own Hycroft. I have some shares long, and I will add some more if it gets cheaper, which I expect that it will. Why will it get cheaper? Because they have no revenue.
Yeah.
They're going to do a reverse split, and they need to spend money on a new milling operation. So just go watch my videos, guys. This is not bearish or bullish. This is just conveying to you the facts from the company. You make your own decisions. Yeah. I'm happy to tell you what I'm doing. I just bought some at 50 cents. I'll buy some at 25 cents. And after the reverse split, if it drops, I'll buy some more. But it's a 2025 play if all goes well.
Yeah. And it's also currently in the Delaware Court of Chancery.
That's a separate issue prior to the SPAC.
Yeah. That's.
I'm not gonna muddy the waters talking about that. I am aware of it.
Okay.
But
I didn't know if you wanted to bring it up to explain it.
It's just like complaining that Adam Aaron and AMC were sued 19 times in the last 20 years. Who the fuck cares? That's a separate issue. We're just evaluating Hycroft on the merits of their financial statements.
Totally fine. Yeah.
Their financial statements and their roadmap. The roadmap says no revenue in the near future. We need to spend money on a milling plant, and we're going to have to reverse split. And we're going to have to raise money probably for a milling plant. If that makes sense to you, then you probably realize that the price might come down. That's not me being bearish. That's me trying to help you get a good entry. So see my advice, my opinion for what it is. But I can't tell you when to buy. I'll tell you when I buy it.
That's always the part that I had the most problem with, and I hate it at work now that people know that like I like to talk stocks, because then they'll come up to me. It's like, hey, should I buy this when or where? And it's just like I don't know what your personal risk tolerance is. I can tell you what.
I'm a gambler. I mean,
Yeah.
I love gambling, but I'm not going to gamble with 100% of my portfolio. I'll tell you
that too. Yes, definitely, 100%. Like there are. I have to be careful about this. There are times like, and this is often quoted, like, you have things like Warren Buffett, where Warren Buffett says, if it's a for sure thing, but I don't think people like understand what he means by like a for sure thing when you're risking your portfolio. Like when he means a for sure thing, he's not talking about dredging up penny stocks or anything like that. He means like going out and buying an Apple or something like that, a company that, if you're buying into it, it is a sure thing. It's not a, you think it might be a sure thing, or it's a speculative thing. No. It's like, but yeah, for most investors like me and anyone else who just kind of are more or less investment tourists who like this because it's fun to talk about this stuff, you shouldn't have 100% of your portfolio in anything.
David says, why did Adam Aron buy Hycroft? Look, David, there's people that say that Adam Aron bought Hycroft to help Mudrick out. And I don't know that I could make a good argument against that. Maybe he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's not for me to speculate on. What I can tell you is what I know. Hycroft is sitting on one of the indisputable largest deposits of silver and gold in the United States. That is an indisputable fact. And for their investment in 23 million shares or whatever they got, they also got some free warrants. Did they overpay a little bit because it was trading at 30 cents and they paid $1? Yeah, maybe so. But if it pays off, and I bought in cheaper than AMC, because I told you guys a year ago, don't fucking buy it for $1 or $2 or $3.
Mm-hmm.
I told you a year ago to wait. If we get it cheap enough and we're willing to gamble a little bit of side money, our little side chick, if it pays off, if they are able to pull all this shit off in 2025, 2026, this could be a massive, great investment. I can't tell you that right now because we're not in 2025. So I'm going to continue to say, for my own protection and yours, that you should consider it a speculative play. That means don't load the boat. But if you like gambling plays, it's indisputable the amount of resource they're sitting on, and who knows what they're going to find in the current phase 2, and who knows what gold and silver prices are going to be. I'm not someone that's going to tell you this was a stupid deal. It's too early to call. Come back and check with me in 2 years, and if it was dumb, we'll know then. I'm going to ride the gamble boat, and I've been trading it. I've been in and out of Hycroft. I've made money. I buy it when it's cheap. When news comes out and it spikes, I'll tell you on a live if I'm selling, and every time I've sold, just like Mullen, 10 cents to 16 cents. Fucking sell that shit. When Hycroft spikes up, I sell it. If the news is FOMO, I'll wait for it to come back down and buy again. If the news was legit, I would hold. But every single time it's done this, I've sold over and over. And I will continue to do that.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we got years for this stock to really show its merits. So play it smart. That would be my general advice. So peel away from the fucking clickbait, hype, touting services. Hopefully Steven's still watching. Touting service is something they use in the sports betting industry. Touting service is someone who tells you stuff which is what you want to hear, which might not be true. I'm going to tell you what the company is telling you, and you might not like it, but I don't care. I'm not here for viewers or subs. I'm here for people that want the real DD.
I'd also say at this point in time with the market the way it is, if you've got some side money, what I would do is invest in some reading material. That's what I've got Audible. I enjoy because I do delivery driving, that I enjoy having it because I can just listen to books. So what you like, just find like something to educate yourself in the meantime, because the stock market's kind of crap right now. So maybe a better ROI for you is getting a book that, gives you a better edge on understanding certain aspects of the market that you're undereducated on, or feel you need to educate yourself more on, and take this time when the market is kicking the shit. You save up, you wait for it to hit its point, and then you find interesting plays to get into. And so you're ready to take advantage when things start looking green again.
Yep. There's a lot of opportunities. Like, I'm a small channel, guys. I don't influence the price of any stock. I'm not influencing the price of Hycroft. I'm not influencing the price of Mullen. I'm trying to educate you guys into realizing that there are people pumping this shit, and that you can make money off of that if you wait for it to dip, and then patiently wait for the good news, like Mullen, 10 cents to 16 cents. What a fucking opportunity. 60% gain in a day. And there's going to be days like that with Hycroft. There's going to be more days like that with Mullen. Know what retail is misinformed on, and put your little bet on the side, not a bet that's going to ruin you if you're wrong, because all these companies have bad fundamentals. But wait for a good entry and then sell into run-ups. You can make a lot of money. We can make money on shit plays if you're smart.
That's like the best thing that I had heard in one of your videos was about you kind of wait for the sentiment to pop up, and you don't play the diamond hands game like the rest of the people on Reddit. You get out when it diverges from the fundamentals of the company, and you cash out and you take your money and you move on, because that's what all these sentiment rallies are. They're divergences from the core fundamentals of the company, and eventually it's going to return to being based on the core fundamentals of the company.
Blue Sky says, but they want 3,000% gains. Tony, why would they sell? Guys, I'm telling you from decades of doing this, if you can knock out 20, 30, 50% gains once a week, or a couple times a week, you're going to survive this game. If you're expecting every play to make you 500%, you're not going to be here in a year.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why half the YouTubers aren't around, it's because they lost their ass.
Yep.
Because they don't have any basis in understanding how the market works. I might be boring. I might be cautious. I might even sound bearish to you, but it's because I've learned from the school of hard knocks, and I don't play that game anymore.
Yeah, I learned the hard way, 2021 through part of 2021, all the bad ways to do options trading.
You probably haven't heard this story, Korax, but I've been trading since the days that the country was first colonized. So back in that day,
you remember when the New York Stock Exchange was just a wooden building down there.
Exactly. But I remember in the .com era when all of these companies were, I literally had an account where all I did was buy call options on any tech company one day before earnings, expiring in 2 days, and I would literally make 200 to 500% on every play in 2 days. See, I was like, what a fucking country. This is unbelievable. And I only did options. And of course I had my 401k and my ESPP. But what happened eventually is that bubble burst, right? The .com bubble burst. And I learned that was one of my lessons, one of many lessons over the past few decades, that you can't count on the market helping you. When the market is bullish, everybody's a winner.
Yep.
But if your entire account is call options and the market evaporates, you get wiped out.
Yep. See,
So at that point, whatever I had in call options just went to zero.
Yep.
You know,
and even if you think you're smarter being a theta gang, I can tell you all the different ways that can blow up in your face. Have fun holding the underline in some company that immediately drops out from under you by about 20%. You know, the premium you get from selling covered calls on that is not going to help you when the stock just completely floors on you.
I try and keep options now to a couple percent of my account. Like I love options. They're better than going to Vegas. But
I'd agree with that.
But
as someone who loves Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, I recommend to people use a free tool like what are a couple optionstrat.com, or there's a couple of other ones. And before you buy an option, whether it's a call or a put, because you think you know the direction that something's going, see what the payout is going to be, see what the theta is, and see what the volatility is, and see if the payout you think you're going to get actually is there, because you can tell with those tools in a picture. And half the plays that I think are going to be winners when I model it is like, well, I think it's going to drop from X to Y. And if it did that, I'm only going to make 20% because of the volatility. I'm not going to risk my money. I need to see 100%, 200%, 300%.
My big change in option strategy, and like you said, it's usually just like a fun money section of my account, is to move from, I used to think, monthlies or like 6 months, that's fine. I try and find like leaps. That's my thing. If I think all I do is use it as like a leverage tool. If I think the company is good, then
I had a great plan to buy leaps on Wynn Casino and Carnival Cruise Line in early 2021 that expired in January 2023. Right now, those are my two worst trades ever.
Oof.
My thesis was correct, but of course they ran up over my strike price right after holding them for 15 months.
Yeah, so you didn't really see any profit because you had so much.
I saw 100% loss.
Oh, yeah.
In retrospect, that was my gamble. I was willing to take it, right? I was like, I can 10x my investment by buying leaps, or 100x. Or I could just buy the shares, and that's kind of boring. This was right in the heyday of 2021. I was making money hand over fist every week. It didn't matter if I lost $5,000. So I bought leaps, and that didn't work out. So
that's the moral of the story, is usually the more boring investments are the ones that consistently make you money.
I would have been fine if I would have just bought Wynn Casinos. I probably would have been up 20%, but I had the opportunity today, right? But I would have made 500% if my leaps had printed, but they didn't. They didn't print till after the leaps expired. I watched that fucking shit bleed out for 15 months.
The only good options play that I've had recently is back around like November, October. It was looking pretty sour potentially for Black Friday, and so I decided, well, the $1 puts in BBBY seem real cheap, so I'll just grab 5 of them on a curiosity whim play, and I grabbed 5 more after that, and those ended up doubling my money. And when the whole bankruptcy news came out, I'm like, that sounds good, we'll leave now. It wasn't a whole lot of money, but doubling up isn't bad.
G Money, sorry I couldn't find your comment to post it on the screen, but I'm going to read it. He says, blank check preferred stock needs board and shareholder approval. That is correct. So the way that these corporations get around it, G Money, including AMC, Tesla, GameStop, and many others, and the way that corporate attorneys recommend it to companies that are going to incorporate is that when you file your initial charter, you put that wording in the initial charter.
And that's
so
what
at that
AMC
point,
did.
you don't need shareholder approval.
Yep.
And that's what happened on all of these companies.
Yeah.
Tesla, GameStop, AMC, and just about any other company incorporated in Delaware. The preferred stock, blank check preferred stock is stuffed in there, and it's incumbent on you to go look for it in the original articles of incorporation. But look, guys, in all of my decades of doing this, the amount of times that has ever mattered has been one right now.
Yeah.
So is it worth your time to go look that up? No, probably not.
Not unless you anticipate a hostile takeover of the company you're investing in.
Yeah. It's carefully buried in all of these companies' original articles of incorporation, and you need to go back sometimes 10 years to find that, but it's there in all of them.
And what's even more clear as to the intent of AMC's blank check stock is that in there's a specific carve out for 242B2, where it says that the company decides that that certain shares don't vote independently as a class, they vote together, then you can write that into your original articles of incorporation. And that's what AMC did with the preferred and the common. Whenever there's a vote to increase or decrease the share count for both of those, they do not vote separately as a class as they normally would do under 242B2. They vote together as a group, as a whole contingency as shareholders, so long as it affects both of them. And that's how you tell.
Thor Bladed, thank you. He's asking, was the settlement denied? All right. The proper title of this video should be unopposed motion to lift the status quo order due to the party's proposed settlement. Let me say that again. Here is what was denied. The unopposed motion to lift the status quo order due to the party's proposed settlement. That was denied. So that was, guys, that's just too long to put on a thumbnail. Just throw me a bone. Throw me a freaking bone, people.
Look, as YouTube, as a fellow YouTube creator, I understand that there's a certain amount of creative license that has to happen with thumbnails and titles, because they give you a character limit. And
you can either show up in the search results or you can go into the pits of hell.
Yeah.
How many people are searching for unopposed motion to lift the status quo order due to the party's proposed settlement denied? Nobody's searching for that.
There is a whole art to, like, apparently part of the search algorithm is how you structure your thumbnails even. So like, it's like, if you get that wordy, the algorithm is going to immediately send you to the dungeons.
It's going to be like, yeah, nobody's going to watch that.
But
at the end of the day, we don't know what's going to happen with the settlement agreement. The judge just said that the status quo order, just to recap, was the order that said you can take the vote, but you can't do anything with the results. The motion to vaporize that was denied.
Yeah, because the judge wasn't going to allow them to. Basically, you have a whole step and process about the things that you need to go to. You know, you've got to get the judge's approval, and then everyone has to, all the shareholders have to give their piece on it. So they're not going to lift that order when it basically lets the rabbit out of the cage. And if the judge then decides, oh, well, we should probably not allow this settlement, well, it's too late. The reverse split and merger has happened. So it's try putting that toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, the what happens with the settlement agreement? Who the fuck knows? The judge could continue to hear the briefs from the plaintiffs and the attorneys and say, all right, well, based on what I've heard, the settlement agreement sounds fair and in the best interest of common stock shareholders, and I'll approve it now. Or she could say, I want to modify it. Or she could just dismiss the entire case.
Yep.
Like, we're back to the drawing board, guys. We're literally back to the drawing board.
that's what I hated about people who saw the motion to dismiss, and Chancery Daily brought this up when it was basically a placeholder document. It was just basically the motion to dismiss with no reasons and all that stuff. And people were thinking that, oh, well, they're just going to throw out the case now and the judge is going to get rid of it. And, by the April hearing at the latest, we'll be done with this lawsuit and everything. It's like, guys, first of all, she has to rule on the injunction hearing. And like, I get it's an expedited trial, but Vice Chancellor Zern, from my understanding, is one of those justices that she's going to take her time thinking about it. So it's not likely she's going to rule right then and there in the hearing. So maybe it'll take like a week at the earliest, if I had to make a guess.
Based on what I'm reading from Chancery Daily, like if there's anyone we want hearing this case,
yes,
it is Chancellor Zern. Like she seems like a legitimate, good judge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know how the case is going to come out. I have my opinion, of course. The AMC is going to be the AMC is going to win. That's my opinion. What the judge decides, obviously, is up to her. But I'll abide by whatever she decides. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's cool.
There's from what I've understand from everyone I've heard on this, the vast majority of people think that AMC is going to win this. Did AMC, in its structuring of how this operates, does it feel icky? Yeah, it feels pretty icky how they went about this. But at the end of the day, they're a company that's straddling the line between solvency and bankruptcy.
Bingo.
So what do you want them to do?
Every company, including Bed Bath & Beyond, and every penny stock company that does a reverse split is doing everything they can to avoid bankruptcy.
Yeah.
So was it a little slimy what they did? Of course.
But the shareholders get liquidated in bankruptcy. So
yeah, you win zero in bankruptcy.
Yeah. So what benefits the shareholders more? This kind of quasi-legal thing goes through, or you guys all get zeroed out, whether it's Chapter 11 or Chapter 7?
I'm not going to get on this bandwagon of the company's doing great. I'm going to tell you the real shit, guys. Like the balance sheet is screwed. We're running out of cash. We were on the verge of filing bankruptcy with $300 million in the bank. And
all you need to know is on the balance sheet, shareholder equity is a negative number. That's not good.
That's not good. And people get mad when I point that out, but I'm not going to lie to you. You didn't get into it for fundamentals, but we're not in 2021 with $2 billion on the balance sheet anymore. Yeah. Someone said, let's just send her popcorn.
I'm waiting for I'm not a big fan of the bag popcorn. I'm waiting for the microwavable popcorn.
I'm wondering why aren't we seeing the microwave popcorn, and why, Adam Aaron, are we not seeing more popcorn? If Adam Aaron, if you're watching, or anybody from AMC, if you need a manufacturing expert or an expert in product ramp and launch, you're not going to pay me to say anything on YouTube. But for a couple $100,000, you can pay me to come manage your product ramp. I've got 15 years experience doing that. That is my background.
They have to be doing it through a third party, and I really wonder how that's.
Well, just based on the little bit of information that we're getting, the ramp is very slow.
Yeah,
and that is normal, right?
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. Like the marketing team in my corporation hated me because I would always throttle them back. They wanted to sell 1 billion products. And
I'm here to feed you reality.
Yeah, we're not going to ramp like that because we got to have quality control. We got to make sure the process is validated.
That's the thing is, like, people talk about like how, like the great value brands that like Walmart does. Well, they do that through they're the reject products from other name brand companies and everything. That's why they can ramp
product,
that so
I don't know that AMC's product. It's not a repackaged generic thing.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's why like Walmart can ramp so fast and just push this shit out, whereas AMC is going for quality. And
I doubt that AMC built a popcorn manufacturing facility, right? They contracted it out, but it is I've done the taste test, and no one wanted to hear me say AMC's better, but it is, especially the extra butter. But it is a unique
extra
product.
butter is always better.
It is a unique product based on my sampling of competitors. But of course, they're contracting it out. Look, everything you buy, guys, is contracted out. I was in factories in China where every company you can imagine had a different floor in the same manufacturing factory.
Oh yeah, it's much cheaper to slap your name on something that someone else builds than
But
owning all the like facilities and having to deal with the depreciation and amortization and
yeah, but
maintaining all
the
that.
simple fact is you have a ramp schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And once you validate that you have sales and yada, 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 that the process is good, then you add a second shift, then you add a third shift, then you add an extra line. And I'm sure AMC is going through the same thing. And I'll just say one more time, if you want to pay me a couple $100,000 to help manage that, I will gladly do it. We'll make this fucker a winner. I have zero experience in food manufacturing, but extensive experience in product ramp and launch.
I will say one thing that really is interesting to watch from a social dynamic standpoint that I don't see with any of the other meme stocks, like say GameStop or something, is that AMC, there's like this community project kind of effort that is really interesting to watch, even if you're not invested in it. Like you have, like I've seen AMC, and I follow them, but I haven't like dropped in on one of those, the AMC Ideas group, where they send things to Adam Aaron for consideration. It's just real, like from a social standpoint, it's just kind of interesting to watch.
It's fantastic for the company to have people generating ideas like that.
Yeah. And whether you think it's maybe the best questions in some of those earnings calls or not, I think it's really interesting. And I think more companies should go forward with this, to what extent, how many of those questions come from shareholders or not. I think it's a really good idea that should go forward, that, you have the sophisticated, hedge fund investors that ask like balance sheet questions and things like that. And then you have the investors asking, like Joe Blow on the street questions, and you balance that fairly, and you get kind of an interesting scope. Because I mean, after all, if you're a shareholder, you own the company as much as the next person. So
Anya, if I become VP of popcorn sales, I'm going to do you one better. I'm not just going to put free movie tickets in random bags. I'm going to put a free 1-year A-list membership in some of those bags.
Hey,
there will be some, Anya, with free movie tickets, but there's going to be some, the golden tickets.
I was getting ready to make that joke.
With a free 1-year A-list membership.
And a chance to tour the HQ in KC.
It's a fantastic idea. I don't know why they're doing it, and I hope that they do it. What a great marketing opportunity. Who else can do that? Can Orville Redenbacher do that? Hell no. Only AMC has the ability to offer something differentiating like that. It's a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
And Adam Aaron, or whatever the hell your name is, that is in charge of, that got hired from the food marketing companies, that lady, I hope you're watching, and I hope you do something like that when you get wide distribution on this popcorn product, because what an opportunity. Not in the microwave packaging, please, but in the ready to eat. Yes, 100%. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And that's what some of these companies like take advantage of. You have a little bit of a loss leader come in, get a free movie ticket. Maybe they'll come back for next movie.
It's not even a loss leader, like A-list.
Well, yeah, you have to buy the popcorn. Yeah,
you got to. But I mean, the money they're going to make on concessions of someone that utilizes that is massive.
Or you could even use it in the reverse way, where hey, if you end up getting an A-list subscription or something like that, then we'll give you a free bag of either the bagged popcorn or the microwave to take home with you. All sorts of different ways you can play that.
All right. What other questions y'all got? I'm looking at the chat now. Now is your chance. If I missed your question, now is the chance to ask it. People get so mad when I don't answer their questions, but
Or
it's
if you
hard.
have like questions about the litigation, I'll try my best. I'm not Chancery Daily, but I've at least tried to read some of the like citations for the cases she's used. So I have like a layman's understanding of things.
Will AMC go up tomorrow and 8 pull back?
It will do something.
My crystal ball is not that good, Anya, but we saw a huge move in after hours. AMC up almost 7%, Ape down 12, 13%.
Yeah.
The arbitrage already unwound. So I think it's going to be boring, probably right around the levels where we're at, and it's going to be driven by the market.
That is like the thing is like if you were like running a hedge fund, the type of volatility waiting out this like lawsuit of buying here, selling there, buying here, selling there, that must be like just chef's kiss to just keep playing this as it goes along.
For those who are just joining in, the arbitrage, what's happening with the price. Remember on Monday, you saw AMC dive and Ape go up. That was because they were unbalanced for the arbitrage. And now today that the uncertainty is back in, you saw AMC go up and Ape dive. That is people unwinding those positions because the certainty of this is not shorting or manipulation.
Yeah.
This is 100% arbitrage play from the people that are quick on the ball. There's uncertainty back in the play. So AMC is going to go up, Ape's going to go down, and you'll probably see flatline. And when I say the market is going to drive it, I don't mean that the market is going to manipulate AMC or Ape. I mean that whatever happens in the market driving the indexes is going to generally steer AMC and Ape. That's what I mean. News specific things will drive this company, just like tonight. But other than that, there's just not a lot to move the price other than what's happening in the general market.
Yeah. And you won't probably see any sharp movements other than the ones that we saw.
No.
You may see the unwinding a bit more tomorrow, but there won't be any sharp price movements until we know.
I would be very surprised if there's any sharp movement other than what happened in after hours tonight.
In fact, when we had that sharp movement on Monday, the day after, you saw it sort of like stabilize a little bit where AMC recovered a bit and Ape kind of sunk a bit. That's probably what you'll see tomorrow, where Ape will kind of stabilize a bit more. AMC will be, and then we'll just kind of be boring the rest of the Friday, which I'm going to be happy with because, like I said, I make it. That's really why I'm really afraid of doing a video on this whole ruling because I like Monday. Something happened with the case after I dropped a video. Wednesday, something happened after I did a video.
Are you saying you don't like to be wrong?
It's not that I don't like to be wrong. It's not. I would like to have a life outside of doing YouTube videos.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to drop a video on Friday and suddenly Vice Chancellor's coming back. It's like, well, I guess we'll have a settlement conversation. It's like,
I don't like being wrong, which is why I often delay like putting my opinion out there. But sometimes people are desperate for information, so I'll occasionally put an opinion. But God damn, man. I hate being wrong on shit.
Yeah, and that's why I structured the video I did the way I did, where it was like I gave what Chancery Daily said, and then I kind of gave the whole like structure. That last third of the video is exactly what Vice Chancellor Zern's going to go through. So that's still like evergreen. The rest of that video you can ignore.
Rubber Ducky says, "Do you guys use supply and demand zones in trading?" I do not. I look at the moving averages, the RSI, and the MACD. And I would say, if you're looking at supply and demand zones, maybe, I'm just going to throw this out there. I really feel like my OBV video should have 1 million views.
Yeah.
Because I still see people putting out misinformation on GameStop and AMC about OBV That's,
Oh, is that the one where they match volume up with all sorts of? Yeah.
well, I mean, on balance volume moves when on a green day the OBV goes up, and on a red day OBV goes down.
I've
But
heard a lot about that being kind of questionable.
it is so easily it's so easy to what's the right word, to confuse, to make the OBV irrelevant on a day when your volume is 100x the normal volume on a green day, that it becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
So no, I look, I don't know any momentum or day traders that use supply and demand zones, and I don't use them. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. Everybody's got their thing that works. So if you ask me the question, no, I don't use them. Doesn't mean that anyone that uses them is incorrect.
Right. And I'm usually not a day trader, but if I was looking at those things, like you said, I generally use RSI for the most part.
You use RSI. I'm going to repeat what I tell everybody. Do not use one indicator.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have multiple, right?
Definitely. And moving averages, but generally I'm not the type to be day trading. Usually my holding period is like 6 months, a year or more. I'm more based on looking at financials and the balance sheet. I'm not too bothered if the price decides it wants to dip.
GS Money says, if the Articles of Incorporation covers the creation and voting rights of APE, well, it covers the blank check preferred stock.
Well, it covers any class of stock, but yeah.
Yeah, the filings in August covered the creation of APE and the voting rights. Why would AMC settle this baseless claim? Look, guys, I'm going to repeat for those of you who weren't here in the beginning. Despite what you're hearing from the cheerleaders and the clickbaiters, I'm bullish on the company. I'm bullish on the industry, but I'm not going to lie to you. This company has a balance sheet that is fucked up.
Mm-hmm. They want this lawsuit to go away as fast as possible.
Yes, they need to raise cash. Like, if you can't get that through your head, please continue to listen to this channel, and I will keep repeating it because I'm not going to lie to you. 600 million in cash is not enough if you're a management in a company that is looking at both the best case and the worst case. And you want a management team that is planning for the worst case. They are not thinking like you. They're not thinking like you that everything is going to be beautiful. They're going to plan for everything, and planning for everything means having more cash on the balance sheet than 2 quarters of cash.
And to that also, I wouldn't call it baseless either. Like, I personally think that AMC is going to win this, but I wouldn't call the lawsuit baseless, because you can't deny what they did with the whole depository receipt thing, so they could inflate the amount of preferred shares that they could pump out, isn't kind of icky. Like, I'm not saying that that's necessarily illegal what they did. Delaware Court of Chancery looks at law and equity, and equity is it fair to the parties in the case?
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think that the court, okay, this is opinion. Mm-hmm. I think that the court is going to say that the company was doing the fiduciary correct thing to make sure that the company had adequate liquidity.
I definitely think that when, and man, this is a whole different thing. I have a video that kind of goes over this, but I think the plaintiffs are wrong trying to use the Blasius standard. I really think that it's the, what's the other one? The business judgment standard is the more applicable one. And I'm not a lawyer, so take that as you will, that I have no legal basis on this. And I have a video with Arbitrage where he has more of a legal background than I do, going over these different standards that are applied when a company does a corporate action, and the standards that the court uses to decide, okay, is this corporate action fair? What standard should we use to decide that it's fair? And different things like that. But I think exactly what you said, that the court's going to look at this. If it did go to trial, and they're going to say, look, this company is bankrupt. Is what they did a little questionable? Yes. Is it illegal? No. Were they looking out for the best interests of the company and shareholders and their fiduciary duty? Generally, yes. So we're
Yeah,
going to let this
I would agree with all of that. Like, are all of us okay with it? Was it, I'm not gonna dance around the fact that they did an end run around what shareholders wanted, right? We voted against, or we were going to vote against increasing the shares that they had available to sell. That's why they pulled the vote back, a couple of years ago. But they're staring down the barrel of a gun right now, and their options are go into bankruptcy or do the fiduciary correct thing to save the company. And they did what they needed to do, and it was not illegal.
Yeah.
So is the lawsuit baseless? Maybe, Korax, I could agree with you. Maybe it was a little icky, but they're doing the right thing as fiduciary stewards of the company, and by extension, every shareholder. Because imagine the lawsuits if they were to go bankrupt and did nothing.
And I would point out as to the previous attempts to increase the share count that could be sold for AMC, that Adam Aaron has made it clear on several occasions that the vote was in favor. And I think the reason why he pulled them is he didn't have enough to clear 242B1. And 242B1 under the Delaware General Corporate Law says that you have to have 51% of the entire shareholders in order to pass a thing. It's not of those participating, it's the entire base of shareholders in order to change the share count and amend the charter like that. Imagine if we had, presidential elections where you had to have 51% of the entire voting population to approve a president. We'd never have a president. That's the problem that AMC has when you have all of these all these shareholders that are retail, and retail generally doesn't respond to proxy statements. They get those in the mail and they throw them in the trash.
Yep.
So that's why that's the main reason why APE was created. The first reason was to get around this problem with, let's be honest here, we don't vote on proxy statements as retail shareholders. And the other one was they needed a short-term dilution tool until they fixed the first problem.
Steven says what Adam Aaron did was still in the best interest of shareholders, even though it was an underhanded dilution. This is the most controversial statement of the year right here on the screen.
But it's true.
It is true. And it is very unpopular when I agree with this statement, because some shareholders called themselves investors when they were speculating on a short squeeze.
Look, I will say for the people that were speculating, I've been in some of those Twitter spaces, and they said, they say the short squeeze is the first thing, the company is secondary. It's like that's so backwards. If you're holding shares in a company, you're investing in the company, you own the company.
That is never going to hold up in a court of law.
The fact that you think that's secondary, that's all backwards.
If you wrote a letter to the judge and said, I got into this play for a short squeeze, you already lost.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just telling you right now, like, I know this is going to hurt some of your feelings, but you need to wake the fuck up. That is not how corporate America or a court is going to view anything. They're going to tell you, you should have waited for a good entry.
Mm-hmm.
If you got into it for a short squeeze, you were speculating. And that doesn't mean I worship Adam Aaron or I'm shilling for AMC. That is just facts.
And if you want any proof of that, look at how the court ruled on that motion to intervene, where a guy who had put options for April 21st got told that he doesn't have standing before the court because the court really doesn't care about his poor, pitiful puts. The court only cares about the people that are in front of it right now, AMC and its shareholders.
The court cares about, would shareholders be harmed if the company went bankrupt?
Exactly.
That is
100%.
it. That is all they fucking care about.
They do not care about your puts. They don't care about your short squeeze. They care about what is the corporate fiduciary duty of the company compared to its owners. I
did a video on fiduciary duty, and I get so much hate on that, but people think that fiduciary duty means you owe me an obligation to short squeeze,
Mm-mm.
you are misinformed, my friend. You're never going to succeed in investing if that is your understanding of
I
fiduciary
have
duty.
a lot of problems with Adam Aaron and his management, but I will say that he has done a fairly good job about ignoring the conspiracy theorists that exist in his company and these continued, we want a share count, we want to know about these naked shorts.
He's given you a million share counts. The share count is the number of share. It's in every damn filing.
He's ignored their continued. He said, look, the shares are the shares that we've had on record for every single corporate action vote that we have taken at every shareholder meeting. I don't know what you want.
They want to know what is the DTCC hold. Okay, then ask the DTCC.
Mm-hmm.
Quit bugging the CEO.
Yeah.
CEOs, every single one that I've seen has said that our share count is what we have legally issued. And the best way to defeat shorts is to fix the fundamentals.
Yes.
I've never
100%.
seen anyone disagree with that.
100%. Shorts don't short companies that are bellwethers. They don't short companies that have good financial statements, make profits, have a balance sheet that looks clean. They short companies that are shit.
Well, AMC's not shit, but they are troubled.
Right. I should clarify that. That was a little crass, but yes. But
I mean, you can't deny that the balance sheet is messed up. The debt to equity ratio is messed up. The stockholders' equity is messed up. But people knew that when they got into this play.
Yes.
Everyone got willingly into this play. I've heard all of you say, I didn't get into this for the fundamentals. Then you're admitting that you knew that the fundamentals were fucked, right? So you were speculating, right? You're not an investor. An investor waits for a good entry and they let management do what they need to do to fix the fundamentals of the company.
I would say I see in the comments there, Matt R, with the GME is profitable and debt free and shouldn't be shorted to shit. The problem with GME right now is that it doesn't have positive earnings yet right now. It
does. It does.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, in Q4.
Well, then maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, Matt, you're gonna want to watch my GME video. I've been sitting on it for days. And they had a spectacular Q4 with positive earnings. Korax.
Okay, well then, I'll admit I'm wrong on that. And that situation may turn around.
Here's what I'm going to say: the preview to my video, which I hope to get out tomorrow. The market needs to see more than one quarter of positive earnings. GME is in a beautiful position, right? No debt, high cash. Positive earnings in Q4, but Q4 is historically a high quarter for them.
Yeah.
So they need to post up 2-3 more quarters of positive earnings. And the only way they're going to do that likely is by closing more stores and cutting costs.
Yeah. Because
the industry is in decline and gaming is going digital. And so even though that's uncomfortable for you to hear, that is the reality of GameStop. And if they can navigate that, it could be a good play. But you can't deny that the industry is going to digital downloads. So that's up to GameStop to navigate. And I know they're working hard on it.
And I will say that compared to where they were being shorted and where the company is, say, pre-pandemic in 2022, that's completely changed. Like
they're in a mostly declining revenue. If you look at the trend, it's mostly declining, but that doesn't mean they can't get to the point where they're stacking quarter after quarter of profitable quarters, and they could be a good company. They can find the magic sauce.
And I really think the magic sauce is in that, where they do something like some of the other gaming stores, like, you go into those, getting your figurines and stuff like that, where they've got a small footprint. And like you said, most of their revenue stream maybe comes from online. But if you wanted to do like a pickup at your local, and you have one local store in a town or something like that. That's how they're going to turn profit, where they have a low footprint but high revenue opportunities, that you have less employees, but your revenue stream remains stable.
I think they have 1,700 stores coming up for lease renewal this year.
And they'll probably let them go.
Yes, they're going to let them go, which means another massive revenue drop.
Which really sucks for the employees and everything, but for
the company, it's smart.
For the company, yeah.
Throw the weight overboard. 1796 says, are you going to explain what was up with the $10 calls, $10 puts that expired today? Someone texted me about that, Mr. Patriot, and I haven't had a chance to look into it, so I can't answer the question.
Yeah, I know that Chancery Daily pointed out that Antara's little finagling of option buying looked a little skeezy, though.
But the put deal on AMC shares didn't work out so well for them today, did it?
Yeah. Well, unless they sold them, but yeah, I don't think they probably it's been really weird watching Antara's options trading and its strategy on doing this. I would not be so cowboy guns a-blazing like they've been in this situation. I got burned once by the lawsuit on my arbitrage, and then moved all the way out to the furthest I could in the universe away from as far as puts go, to watch them dance around and continue to play these screw around and find out games. I find entertaining for me, but I wouldn't do that with my own money.
Let me ask you, since this is the very first time that we have ever spoken, when did you ever get involved with AMC?
This is the first time I've been involved in AMC. I came in around,
like, when? Give us a month.
I want to say January, right about
when. So you're a newbie.
Yeah, I came in shortly after they pretty much announced that this arbitrage was on, and I came in. I think it was right after they announced the Antara deal was announced, and I just treated it like, oh, this is just AMC flushing more down the toilet and doing things. And then when they announced that the vote was going to happen, I was like, wait, this is an arbitrage play. I can make money on this. And that's when I came in. It was about January, late January.
All right.
So I'll be around for this, and then I'll wait to see where things and hopefully play it maybe like I said with Huntington Building Products. You find that moment where it just looks like it's about ready to turn the corner, and you buy there, and then it's up and away. You may not get the exact bottom, but you're right there.
One thing we're always looking for on this channel, Korax, is a firm bottom. My viewers know to laugh right about now. Yeah, you might not always get the bottom, but
call it a firm bottom in the financials, because like I explained with the Huntington Building Products, they were losing money. And that year that quarter, like you said, it's all about thinking, and you might get burned on it, but it's all about thinking one step ahead that the rest of the market is. So if you have that one quarter that looks good and they keep building on it, then you're already one step ahead of them. You might get burned, don't get me wrong. So I'm not saying, go out and do this, but that's what I'm looking for.
Karen and the vendor said we both laughed at that. They've met my wife, so they know where I'm coming from. G Money says, Tony, in your opinion, did AMC get to an all-time high of 72? How did AMC get to all-time high of 72? Was it only the balance sheet or deferred payment? It was due to FOMO and short covering, both.
Because when you get up
and probably add in a little bit of loaded options chain on top of that, and some gamma squeeze. It's really that simple. There was some short squeeze, there was some FOMO, there was some gamma. It had nothing.
It was the
had
summer
nothing
movie
to do with
season, wasn't it? About that time, so
It
you
was
had
what?
you had good news mixed with just this buildup of people that wanted to put their money in it, and they did, and it just went.
It was the perfect storm. It was People were high on GameStop. There was still
Yeah.
money coming in from the government.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a perfect opportunity for it to run up. It had nothing to do with valuation. So for anybody, it just makes me kind of angry when people say I bought in at $50 and AMC is to blame for it running down to $4.
No,
Guys, you got to wait for a good entry. There was no valuation that justified you buying it at 50. If you get into any squeeze play, you must have an exit plan, and you must recognize that you're in a run-up play. And I'm not going to exempt AMC from any other ticker that I talk about. I say the same rule for every play. If you're in the run-up, have an exit plan, take your profits, and if it doesn't work out, have an exit plan. Same fucking shit.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that, go talk to the clickbaiters who gave you the Pareto charts that told you it was going to $500,000. And you know who the fuck I'm talking about.
I could name several names, but I'm not going to do that.
Don't complain to me. I got so mad at Trey and Matt, which is why I started my channel in July.
See, I haven't had, like, I occasionally have seen Matt's videos. I haven't had too much problems with him, but Trey is one that, my big nemesis is right now is Thomas James.
Oh
my
Lord.
Goodness.
God. He's a nice fellow.
He seems like a nice guy, but his videos, they say nothing, they do nothing, and they always have the same message: AMC going to moon. It's
Anya says, Tony, please consider doing merch starting with a fanny pack. If I do a merch ever, Anya, which I'm not going to, as long as I'm in AMC, my first T-shirt is going to say, "I'm not for everyone." Because I don't give a fuck, Anya.
I'm an acquired taste.
Yeah. I'm sorry for all the mean things that I said when I was right. That's going to be my second T-shirt.
I follow Chancery Daily on both Twitter and Mastodon, and I sent her a GIF that she said that was on point. It was this YouTuber I follow, Razorfist, and he has this thing that he does that when he gets something right, he spins around in his office chair with both middle fingers ablaze, going "Fuck you, I was right." And I sent that to her, and she was like, "Yep, that's on point."
It's so tempting to do that, but I'd rather just let the merits of my channel and my due diligence speak for themselves. I mean, so many people hate me. I'm literally the most hated YouTuber out there.
I don't know why. You seem like such a nice person.
No, I mean, because people think that I'm pompous and arrogant. I'm not pompous and arrogant. I just read company filings. It's easy to be right.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's easy to be right when you read what the company's telling you.
Yeah.
It's these fuckheads that speculate on shit that get mad at me because I prove them wrong. And it's not me proving you wrong, guys. It's not. It's literally not me proving anything. I'm just reading to you the fucking financial statements and what the 10Q says. It's not that hard.
Requires that they tell you.
Maybe you should try it.
Like maybe you should listen to them when they tell you their company's a little screwy. There's these disclosure statements that they have to give in their 10Ks and their 10Qs about the different things that are risk factors for their company. When a company tells you that they have a going concern issue, maybe you should probably get out.
This channel is going to be just fine into the next bull market because I keep it to the facts as much as I can.
Yeah. Yep.
And everybody else that's the speculative bullshit, they're going to lose all their money because they glom onto the conspiracy bullshit, and that's never going to work out in your favor.
Yeah. It feels great for a nice high, but it's not going to fill your bank account. And for me, I like a full bank account. That's just me. And for me, I'm lucky enough of a person to have enough money where I can treat that bank account like a scorecard. That's me winning. Every time I make a right play, chalk one up for the home team.
Anya says it's hard to get profits because I get greedy. I know, Anya. I'm going to continue to counsel you guys to be okay with first or second base hits. And if you want to go for the home run, Anya, sell your bag, sell what you invested, and let the rest ride. You follow what I'm saying? If you're in a play that runs up 100%, sell your original investment, and then you can let the rest ride risk free. It's such an easy way to live life. You wonder why I'm so happy and unstressed in plays is because I manage my risk. I don't put all my money in one stock. I don't expect every stock to be a moonshot. I take profits as they come.
It is such a best. It is best for your mind and your. And I know I get into this too, where I have like the app on my phone, but some days just don't even look at it. Don't even look at it.
A day like today, I go and see a movie. I went and watched Mario Brothers today. Some days you just got to fucking unplug. It's okay. Go fishing. Go watch a movie. Do whatever makes you happy. Go to a yoga class. Learn to cook something new. Spend some time with your family. Every day does not have to be a trading day. I'm just patiently biding my time, racking up wins when I can get them, and waiting for the next bull market. And I'm trading far less right now than I normally do because it's tough right now, guys.
Yeah. I trade less, but I take a list of the tickers that look good to me, things that are trading with negative enterprise value. I just put them on a list and I wait. I wait for this market to sort itself out, and when it does, those companies that are trading less than the assets on their balance sheet, those are going to be your winners.
I think Davinda hacked into my Amazon account. I'm not going to lie, Davinda. I'm not going to lie.
Look, if they're comfortable.
They are comfortable and they're nice. There's a few things you should spend extra money on, and that is briefs, sheets, and towels.
Definitely towels. You don't want to get out of the shower and then be drying yourself off with sandpaper.
Which is, by the way, as much smack as I talk about Bed Bath & Beyond, I love Bed Bath & Beyond. I buy my sheets there. I buy my towels there. And my wife loves that store.
Yeah.
She loves that company. I have no ill will against Bed Bath & Beyond. And thank God every location in my city is in, right now, no jeopardy of being closed.
Same here. Given we only have one.
But as much as I like shopping there and she loves shopping there, the financials are the financials.
Yeah. And it's not the only one in that space that's having trouble. It's my understanding Wayfair is kind of in the same situation where they have an upside down balance sheet that's just ugly and they're not bringing in near enough money. And so they're like, if you think it's just the retail space is just isolated to a few companies, no, there's a lot that are struggling in that space.
Brandon says Costco has good towels. I have not looked at the towels at Costco, Brandon, but I will. Thank you.
I would have to have a Costco in my town.
I am a Costco member. I like the company. It's a little overpriced right now. I have a Costco video coming out after my GameStop video. Let me throw up one more time. Not throw up, but let me put up on the screen my beginners spreadsheet. Hang on one second, guys. Give me a second. Some of y'all have seen this already. This is something we're going to be using more as we move into where we're going next with this channel, helping you guys become better investors, picking companies that are good investments. And for those of you that don't want to learn to become financial statement readers, let's see, let me find this. Not that one. All right. I have this, which it will become a staple of this channel. How to discount future earnings, but before
discount future cash flows.
yes, discounted future cash flows but you got to have profitable company for that to work. So let me show you. Let me show you what else we're looking at. I created a beginner's version. Let me find it. Everything's called untitled spreadsheet.
I see we have some of the same problems.
All right, here we go. I've got this one. This is created just for you beginners, for those of you that don't want to read financial statements. When you ask me, Tony, what do you think about Mullen? Oh, well, I think Mullen shit. He hates Mullen. It's not that I hate Mullen. When you guys ask me on a live stream, do I like a company or not? And I give you a 5-minute overview. These things are the things that I'm quickly looking at. This is not the definitive analysis. This is a starting point. Profitability, EPS, ROE, cash, debt to capital, working current ratio, revenue growth rate, dilution risk, the CEO, short interest dividends, and insider trade. So when we look at a Mullen, this is a hot train wreck right here.
I see a lot of red.
Yeah, this is your beginner's version of how to analyze stocks. When you guys ask me on a live stream and I go and look at a couple things, this is what I'm looking at. And I can tell in 5 minutes if it's a good company that I could recommend to you honestly or not. And if I tell you it's speculative, it's because everything's red. Mm-hmm. When I look at other companies like AMC, it gets a little better, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 greens and 2 yellows, but you still see a lot of red, right? We go to a GameStop, it gets a little better, and I probably need to update it because now they're profitable. So I need to do an update. But then we go to a Costco, everything's green. These are what you want the bulk of your portfolio to be. Profitable, increasing earnings per share, good return on equity, good cash position, good debt to capital, good current ratio, revenue growth, good, dilution risk low, CEO solid, short interest low. They're paying dividends and there's not a lot of insider selling. So I hope to make this a staple of the channel when you guys ask me about plays.
And I think it's really good because, like, for me, I know while I do like financial research, I keep it to very like set different things I'm looking at because like I have a job besides this. So something like this is really great because you can instantly just, here's a few things, look at it. Should I put it on a screener to look at for later, more in depth? Maybe it's just easy. You pick it up and look at it. And
if we look at penny stocks, every box is going to be red. That's going to tell you this is a speculative trade only play it on momentum. So how you trade things depends on how many red or green boxes you have. And even though Costco was all green, it's still not right now for me a buy, right? This is a starting point, this spreadsheet. Even once you see that it is a good company, you still need to identify through the discounted cash flows if what is the current price a correct price for you to hold it for the long term. For me, Costco right now, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. A good tool that I like to use with Excel is if I have tabs that are based on industry. And so if I have something like enterprise value to EBITDA or something like, return on equity or something like that, I have this graded color scale. So that way I can see based on other things in the column, based on that category, how it's doing compared to its peers.
Yep.
So say like one company is a green and one's an orange and one's a red. You can see kind of compared to its peers what it's doing.
It just makes me upset when people say like, oh, Tony, you made a video on Mullen, but you don't like it. Like, look at it. Like, what is there to be bullish about?
Yeah.
They're not making money. Their earnings per share is negative 280 and falling.
Yep.
They have a negative return on equity. The debt to capital ratio is shit. They have no revenue. The CEO is not trustworthy. And they're not paying dividends, and the CEO is selling. Like, that's not me hating on it. That's just analyzing facts. And if you're going to be on my channel, we're going to stick to what we can see. It's not about falling in love with any single company. That's why I did one for AMC. So you can see, how would I analyze it? What do I like? What do I not like? This is how you guys need to analyze companies before you spend money on them. And again, this is not for day traders. This is not for swing traders. If you're holding it for 2 days, none of this matters one shit. But if you're going to hold long term and you're buying a company like this, you're not an investor. You are a speculator. And if it goes down, you get what you deserved.
Yeah.
Because you did not do the due diligence. Don't get mad at David Mishery. You invested in a shit company it's a train wreck. So as a momentum trader, as a retail trader, I want to buy this as cheap as possible and then sell on news, because there's nothing compelling about this company right now. Could they change that? Yeah. Turn some of these boxes green for me, David Mishery. Then I'll say it's good.
It needs to be a big change in the retail movement. Is there's a lot of these like speculative plays, like you say, where retail is just in it for the squeeze. They're not holding management accountable. You want to get the shorts out, you hold the management accountable for their bad performance and get them to turn around the company. I guarantee you the shorts will eventually go away. They have to, because they'll just lose money on a good company. So
Anya says, would we not want to buy all green? Anya, so like Costco, that's a great question. Costco is all green, but when you see a lot of green on the chart, that is your starting point to say, okay, this is a good company. Then what is a good price to buy it at?
Mm-hmm.
It's not I'm not buying Costco right now, Anya. It's on my watch list. And if you look at my chart on Costco, I'll throw it up here for you. I've identified where I'd be willing to buy it. It's not anywhere close to this price.
That's the thing about a screener is like, it'll show you good companies, but you have to understand compared to what and at what price. You've identified that it's a good company, but what is a good what is a good price to get into that company, and what are you comparing those screeners to? What is, maybe there's a company that's better in its same target market that could be at a better price. So it's not just about, is the company good? Is the company good compared to its price? And is the company good compared to others in its same industry?
This is going to like shock some people right now. I have a good buy-in price for Costco right now at $250. It just recently hit 608. It's currently at $497. But based on discounted cash flows, $250 is a safe place to buy it. I would still say right now that Costco is overvalued. Does that mean that I might not momentum trade it? I might momentum trade it. But if I'm going to have it for a long-term hold, I'd much prefer to buy it lower than where it's at right now. And I said the same thing when Tesla was at $1,200. And I eventually bought Tesla at $106 and sold it on the recent run-up. Like, if you know value investing, things always revert to the proper price.
Yeah. And you got to look at Costco compared to its peers, like as far as a price to earnings or anything like that. It's like you judge it against like a Walmart, say it's price to earnings is a bit higher. So you have to wonder, is the price worth what you're getting for it?
Could it come a little lower before you get into it? Maybe. These are all things you kind of have to consider when you're looking at things. It's a great company. It's just, is it a great company for
I love
price?
Costco. Like I said, I love it. I'm a member. It's a fantastic long-term hold. And if you're going to buy it for 30 years, if you bought right today at $4.97, are you going to be fine in 30 years? Probably
Yeah,
so.
probably.
But as a value investor, for the majority of my portfolio, I'm going to wait for it to come down. Look at the 200 moving average. Is at 398. For sure, I'm going to wait for these two to meet. But based on discounted cash flows, I'm probably looking for selling covered puts, cash covered puts around 300 and picking up a buy around 250.
That's a good way to find an entry point. You find a price that you think is good based on its fundamentals, and you sell cash secured puts, and then you take a little bit of money on the premium, and when the price comes in, you get the price you want, and you're in the play.
And for those who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, please punch that subscribe button right now. If you don't know what identifying an entry is and then selling a cash secured put to lock in that entry is so you can make extra money and still be bullish on buying a stock that you love, what are you waiting for to hit that sub button?
Now, one thing I will say in addition to that is that make a price that you're willing for, because it could go lower. That's always the risk.
But if you're willing to buy it at 250
exactly.
and you sell a cash secured put,
don't get mad when it goes lower. You said you were willing to take it at that price. That's something that a lot of people get locked into when they start doing options trading, is it keeps going down sometimes.
It's an art, not a science, right?
Yes.
You identify where you're willing to buy it. I'd be willing to buy it at 250. If it hits 300, I'd sell a cash secured put with a 250 strike.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. If it goes lower, fine.
Yeah.
But I got in where I was willing to get in, and I captured the premium of that put.
Yep.
Puts are not bearish if you're doing it the right way, guys.
And that's what I like doing in my fund account. I'll find stocks that I like holding long term, or like you said, a cash secure put that I'm waiting on. I use that premium. It's extra fund money that I already have, and I throw it at darts on the dartboard. I think a put here would be good. Who cares if I lose that money? It was free money. I mean, I'm not suggesting that some people might find that a bit too risky for their blood, and I don't blame them, but I like having fun sometimes.
Oh man, I wish I could just brain dump everything into everybody's brain that is watching right now or watches this on replay.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think is like. I think it's great that YouTube and Twitter exist, that people can come into streams like this and learn so much. But there's also so much garbage out there, and I worry so much.
It's 90% garbage.
Yeah.
I get trapped in the garbage. I really want this channel to metamorphosis into helping people realize smart plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that people will be along for that ride. And I think that the majority of my viewers are along for that ride. And for those of you that hate me, a lot of them got blocked because they're bought into the conspiracy bullshit. It doesn't matter to me if I block you, because you won't be here in a year anyways. Mm. But for those of you who haven't said something nasty, stay tuned and learn and profit. And, you're going to be okay over the long term if you listen to someone who is reasonable and has more than 2 years experience in this market.
Hey, now, I'm past the 2-year point.
That's why I carefully said 2 years.
I had to think about that for a second. So, actually, we're at 5 now. So, okay.
Anya says, Tony, you need to take a vacation. Why not go to Delaware at the end of the month? I don't know what value I could add in Delaware, Anya.
I
really don't know. I mean, I'm extremely interested in what is happening in Delaware.
I know if I could take like days off to go up there just to see what it's like to set in one of those corporate trials, just for the experience of it, to see, like, then again, I'm also a big nerd. Like, following Chancery Daily was always going to happen to me because it's the intersection of two nerdy interests, corporate law and finance. It's amazing. And nobody and nobody but people on the internet want to listen to me talk about it.
Anya says you can represent us. Look, Anya, we got AMC with a very smart team of attorneys, and we've got Allegheny, which I'm assuming Allegheny and Munoz have a very smart team of attorneys. And whatever value add that I could be would be insignificant. I'm no expert in Delaware Chancery Court law, right?
And to my understanding, Winchell or whoever is the law firm that represents AMC is like experts in the field as far as the situation AMC's in right now of not just corporate law, but like
every decision
liquidity
and movement
issues
that AMC has made has been overseen by attorneys that are experts at Delaware law. Don't fucking kid yourself for 1 second. Every decision that Adam Aaron has made has been approved by legal counsel.
That's why when I say all these people talking about how they're going to add their pro se legal filings to this lawsuit, every time I hear that, it's like, part of me is like, please don't do that. You're only going to embarrass yourself. Another part of me is
are going to embarrass yourself if you don't think the board of directors doesn't have an attorney sitting there approving everything they say and do. You're fucking kidding yourself.
Yeah. The other half of me is like, please do it because I need more YouTube content. Like when the AVCT thing happened, there were people that were actually in the hearing saying that they were going to file fraud allegations against the acquiring company of AVCTQ's assets. And I'm like, please do it. Make my day. I've got a Pacer account. I will follow you all day long and I will laugh at you the whole way down. I know that sounds really mean, but it's what's going to happen.
It is a sad form of entertainment to watch people on YouTube think that they're going to create a lawsuit and file something with the Delaware Chancery Court when the best and the brightest of a multi-billion-dollar company already knows exactly what they did is legally correct.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're going to create
especially
some
with a justice like Vice Chancellor Zern, who has so much experience.
I don't mean that as an insult, but like, guys, you are literally going up against Harvard law graduates, and nothing that AMC did was not approved by legal counsel.
Yep.
You're kidding yourself if you think otherwise. They know that they are on the right. At least they think they're on the right.
Right.
It's okay. All right. Ultimately, it's up to the judge to decide, and there's always two sides to every argument. I get it.
And if you think that your conspiracy theories are going to be entertained by the Delaware Court of Chancery, I've got news for you. They're not.
If you're going to come to the Delaware Court of Chancery and write a letter that says there's billions of naked shares and you provide zero evidence, you're going to be laughed out of the fucking court.
Yeah. It's like I told you, it's like if you think that Vice Chancellor Zern is going to be your pen pal, I've got news for you. It's going that email, it'll get scanned, it'll get put on the record, and then it'll get put in the round file, and it'll never be seen again.
At Fridays at 5 p.m., they're going to throw darts at that shit.
Yeah. And that's not to be mean.
It's not to be mean. Truth. It's just like, if you're look, some of the people, Korax, are writing letters and some of them claim to have a law degree, even though they've been disbarred. And, you should know, if you're going to make an allegation, you better have the evidence to back up that allegation, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy says he's an expert. He's a previous attorney. No one ever says but he was disbarred part, right?
Well, yeah, and when it's really hard to get disbarred, like you can get suspended for a while, or you might get a sanction against you, but disbarred means you did something pretty serious that the state bar association decided that you shouldn't have a license anymore. That's a pretty harsh judgment to have. It's basically saying you were a lawyer, you don't get to be a lawyer anymore. You do not get to be employed. Go find a different line of work.
I'm going to say the same thing to people writing letters to the Delaware Chancery Court that I'm going to say to YouTubers. If you're going to make an allegation in a letter, provide the evidence, or it's going to be laughed out of court. If you're going to make an allegation, you are wasting your fucking time.
Just look at all those filings that have been filed with the court and how many different citations are attached to each and every little word and statement on those documents. And then think about your filing and how few of those there are.
Mental masturbation. It's nothing but YouTube clicks for views. There is zero chance that any of that is going to hold up in court.
Yep.
I hate to say that. I hate to break people's balls, but like, let's be real. You're like talking, you're going up against the Delaware Chancery Court. Bring the fucking evidence or you're going to be laughed out. You can have all the allegations you want. That is nonsense without evidence.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a court. You realize that, right?
And they don't, and they're not going to deal with your BS because they probably got 4 other cases besides yours. So if you're wasting their time, they'll let you know real fast.
Yeah. You're going to be bounced. Pam, what is up? Pam in the house. Hey, Pam, have you seen Super Mario Brothers yet? By the way, Korax, are you a movie lover? Or you're just in here for the arbitrage?
I'm in it for the arbitrage, but like, I don't know what it is. Like, our movie theaters around here and then the town I'm in are just like going out of business left and right.
Wait, you're in Kansas City. How is there not?
No,
like
I'm not in
Primo...
Kansas City. I'm outside of Kansas City. I'm an hour outside of Kansas City.
But shouldn't the Primo AMC location be in your general locale?
I don't have a single AMC in the town I live in.
But within an hour, do you have one?
Yes, in Kansas City.
All right.
I need to go back to the theaters. Like, there are good movies out there. I just have been.
I don't know if you know, Korax, I'm a D-rated actor because 20 years ago I took an acting class. They love to hold that against me. He took an acting class.
That sounds like a load of fun to me. Look, I have my geeky moments. Like, once a month, I go down to Arkansas for a combat LARP. Look, you do what makes you feel happy.
So you're a failed MMA fighter?
No. Like, okay, let me explain combat LARP and SCA. SCA is when they break out the real weapons. I'm the one that.
I'm just saying that's the jump that they make. If you took a class, you're a failed MMA fighter.
I mean, those do exist, but that's not entirely true. It's like how, like, you know, some of those failed MMA fighters end up in the WWE.
I'm gonna take a guitar lesson so I can be a failed rock star next in their eyes.
You know, whatever.
I just like the film industry and movies, and I love the big screen. So you can hate me all you want, you fucking trolls.
I guess they can call me a failed politician too, considering when I was young and innocent, I ran for public office.
I was a political science major for one semester.
Oh, okay, so we have that in common.
I'm a
too.
failed
Awesome.
politician also by
Awesome.
by fair judgment.
Look,
I'm also a failed engineer because I was an engineering major for another semester after that.
I'll take the gold star that I got 5% of the vote. That makes me happy, and that will always make me happy.
These fucking trolls crack me up. They can't beat you on DD, so they resort to.
They find different things about it. What really drives me insane is the MMTLP trolls, because then they'll go around doxing people.
Oh, I already been doxed.
there was what was it? One of the guys, he was running for Texas railroad counselor or something. He was simply asking, he wanted to see the resources room for NextBridge hydrocarbons to figure out the value of the assets. And they tried to dox the dude, and they didn't even find the right guy. They came back with this like 32-page rap sheet. And if you think that someone running for public office is a 32-page rap sheet, I got news for you. They weren't running for public office.
It is literally laughable because I work for myself and I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm here to read the filings and speak the fucking facts. So
Yep.
you can say whatever you want. It's not going to stop me. You guys are the only ones that are going to be embarrassed because you are constantly wrong with your conspiracy bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm really looking forward to buying my first guitar so they can, and then I'm going to start covering Guitar City.
There you go.
So the Guitar City guys can say I'm a failed rock star. He's like, he shouldn't be covering this stock.
You should just you cover stocks one video and then you cover songs the next video.
Do you know if you even like cover a song on YouTube, they'll ban your channel?
Just another ape. Professionally for a living, I work for a distribution center as a delivery driver. I don't drive the big semi trucks. That terrifies me, but box trucks and the like, yeah. So when people talk about all the recession isn't here, we're doing just fine and everything, I got news for you. When my hours get cut, I notice it. Like when people are talking about like the recession isn't here, it's like, I don't know about it. My delivery schedule got cut in half, so I'm going to say it's here.
Dan has a question. Korax, do you want to answer this? Why is Delaware so special in the court scene? It's a great question, Dan.
That is a great question. From my understanding, Delaware has certain like tax benefits that it gives to corporations. So it's kind of like one of those special kind of tax haven states. And because of that, the Delaware Court of Chancery has a bunch of companies that incorporate in their state. And because of that, they hold the most precedent for legal rulings as far as dealing with corporate law. So much so that they are pretty much the standard for all the other states and to a certain extent, federal corporate law. So when something comes out of the Delaware Court of Chancery, it's big news across the rest of the United States because most companies are incorporated in Delaware.
Yeah, I would add to that. I don't know the exact number of years, but I want to say like they have 100 years plus of precedents of specializing in corporate law. They were one of the first that had a court specializing in corporate law. So it is very important what they decide.
Yeah. And it's why I did the best job I could to find when I did the video that came out today, that it was immediately rendered halfway moot to like go over those filings, because there's stuff in there that goes back years for how things are structured, how you deal with settlements, how you deal with all sorts of different things as far as corporate law goes.
I don't know what percentage of companies are incorporated in Delaware, but it is a lot.
Yes, it is a lot. Which is really funny because a lot of companies, their headquarters are in another state, but they have like a P.O. box in Delaware so they can say they're incorporated in Delaware.
My attorneys always ask me when I incorporated various companies that I own, they always ask me, what state do you want to incorporate in? I'm like, I don't really care. Like none of my companies are planned to be international conglomerates. Like I don't need to incorporate in Delaware, but you can be in any state and incorporate in Delaware if you want to. And and many companies, even if they incorporate originally in a different state, they eventually move to Delaware
Yep.
because of the benefits that it offers to corporations, specifically legal benefits. Jake says, Korax, I work in the trucking industry and freight is getting tight. What do you mean by that, Feed Jake? Like it's getting tough to find freight or tough to make profit on freight?
Probably tough to find freight because from what I've understood, I follow a channel called Eurodollar University, and they basically deal with a lot of different macroeconomics kind of things. And what they've noticed a lot of is a sharp downtick in freight rates in overseas, like shipping and things like that, where people that are in that industry, they notice it, and it's usually a good early indicator that the market is turning the opposite direction. Because if people aren't shipping stuff, that means there's less demand for goods in the market.
This is good stuff to keep track of. And I watch a couple of other YouTube channels, not freight related, but Jake, thank you for keeping us posted. I watch like some channels that are tracking the auto industry.
Mm-hmm.
Auto industry, new and used car sales is about to fucking blow up.
Auto loans.
Not in a good way.
Yeah,
because when I'm talking about worries about the market and market risk, guys, what I'm trying to tell you is that the economy, this country is not in a good position right now. You need to be very careful what risk you're taking on in your positions, because despite what you hear from the government and the
people
media,
on the clown show MSNBC or CNBC,
we're on the precipice of a lot of bad earnings.
Mm-hmm.
And the market could take a major hit, and I'm not going to ignore that. That's why I'm trying to move more and more of my positions into cash, so that if and when it crashes, I'm ready to capitalize on that. I'm happy to buy when everybody else is scared. I've learned the hard way that is a smart thing to do.
That's why a lot of these like companies that that are on my watch list right now. You mentioned like autos, used auto companies. What I've been looking at is like the loans, because there's a lot of companies that offered people loans on these used cars at the top of the market during the pandemic when there was no cars out there, and there's a lot of people that are going to be upside down on those loans, and I'm watching them. Not because I'm going to buy in right now, but I want to see which ones make it out of this struggle that's coming. Because when everything hits the floor, the ones that bounce back up, those are the ones to watch. The ones that they kept their balance sheet in order. They had stringent lending requirements and everything, and they're going to get dumped like everyone else, but they're still a good company. And so that's what I'm watching for, is you wait for all this stuff to sort out. And then some of these auto loan companies, that might be, that's what I'm looking at least. I'm not going to say that you should go look at that, but that's one of my watch points.
Noisy Korax, you got a compliment from Steven, Just Another Ape. By the way, go subscribe to his channel, guys, Just Another Ape. He says, you are a sharp. Look, Steven is in the sports betting industry, and he's telling you that you're a smart guy when he says you're a sharp.
I appreciate that. For someone without a college education, I will take all the compliments
we got sharps, we got chalk eaters, and we got bridge jumpers. Steven is in the sports betting industry, which we've drawn a lot of parallels between the sports gambling industry and the stock market. And man, Steven, one day we need to do a video on how you guys track the tout services, the pumpers in the sports industry. We just need to do a video on that and how it correlates to the stock market and all the people pumping bullshit. I bet Noisy Korax would find that interesting.
There's a lot of things I find definitely interesting.
Go sub to Just Another Ape. Go sub to a Noisy Korax. I like what I'm hearing tonight. This is my first time talking to this dude, but he seems to have a pretty good head on his shoulders, like the type of advice I would give you guys. He might be a new AMC investor, but from what I'm hearing tonight, maybe you guys agree or disagree. Let me know in the chat. Seems to have a pretty good outlook on things as far as like common sense, like not buying into the hype and the hype and the clickbait and the conspiracy bullshit that will lead you to lose money.
Yeah, I treat myself as like a value investor. I don't necessarily like the term value or growth investing. I think both are applicable. Like if you're a value investor, you're looking for something that appreciates over time but is undervalued, and the same thing for growth investors. I don't know what terms I would use, but those are the terms we do use. So I tend to see myself as a value investor.
I try and make the bulk of my portfolio like value investing. I'm a gambler, right? I love trips to Vegas.
I am too. Like I said, I love poker. Blackjack is also a side game of mine.
My wife is a big Texas Hold'em player. She's a shark. But my forte is gambling on stocks, but I'm smart enough not to gamble my entire portfolio on one play. And that's what I want to teach people.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a gambler. It's okay to invest in speculative plays. But you got to resist this siren call to YOLO your entire life savings into one play. Scale your risk.
I know this is not going to be a term that certain people are going to like, but I think a very eye-opening book for me as far as resisting the siren call of some of these people is a book by David Hassan called Combating Cult Mind Control. Because I think even if you don't see some of these YouTube pumpers as cultists, some of the tactics they use are the same. And if you want to be aware of the methods that are used to get you, like you said, the siren call, he points out that there are smart people in perfectly fine situations that get pulled into these destructive cults. And you may be very well a smart person, intelligent investor, and you get called in by, like you said, the siren call. And even if you're smart, it helps to be aware of these things, how people try and use emotions or other non-rational thinking to manipulate you into a situation you normally wouldn't get into.
Was it the Iliad or the Odyssey that had the sirens in it? I think it was Odysseus that had the sirens.
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, yeah, I mean they're prevalent out there, and to survive in the stock market for the long time, it's all about recognizing when these plays are happening. If people are pumping stuff, that's cool.
Yeah.
Get a good entry, get in early, get out early.
Every trade needs a counterparty.
And don't blame the CEO if you bought in at the top of a pump.
Yep.
That's it makes me. People think that I love Adam Aaron. I don't love Adam Aaron, but you can't blame him if you bought in at $60 or $50 or $40 or $30. Like you got to at some point admit to yourself that you bought in on a company with wrecked financials,
highly leveraged,
$5 billion in debt, no income. And that's not me being critical of you, but let's learn from that. Let's learn how to recognize let's learn how to read the financial statements and differentiate between when we're an investor in a value play and when we are a speculator. And if we're a speculator, we got to have an exit plan. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, 100% to me. I would just add to the point that I saw in the chat there to Crispy and Anya about the why do people have over 250K in money in banks, not just for business day-to-day liquidity, but a lot of the problem with these regional banks that you saw blowing up, those people don't have over 250K in the bank anymore, and they moved it to money market accounts and stuff like that. That's why you had places like Silicon Valley blow up, because people realized that their money was at risk and they could make more money holding government bonds through a money market account. So they got their money out, the liquidity dried up in the bank, and the bank went insolvent.
Ellie says our exit plan is a squeeze.
Oh gosh, every time I hear that. Oh.
Well, I mean, it's a possibility,
Yeah,
right?
it's possible.
If there is good news, guys, look, I'm not going to ignore the facts. The facts are the short interest is high. The facts are the cost to borrow is high. What are we missing? We're missing a catalyst to kick it up. So if that happens, we could have a short squeeze. Every play has the potential for a short squeeze when you got these good conditions. We're not a low float stock, right? We're not a low float. Low floats are much easier to move up. So we need a good catalyst to kick big money and retail FOMO into this play. The fire, the fire is, I don't want to say the fire is set. The fire is prepared. The logs are sitting there on the ground, ready to light it up. But we're waiting for the catalyst. So ideally, something happens before the reverse split and the eventual dilution announcement. I'm going to repeat, even though it's not popular, and I know I'm going to lose subs for saying this, but I want you to be smart about this play. You should be prudent about investing in this company if a dilution announcement is made. I'm going to be waiting, like I've said for the past couple months. I'm going to be waiting to invest any additional money if a dilution is announced. If the price drops, I'll consider buying additional shares then. My risk is already where it's at. I'm not doing anything different. Not trying to play arbitrage or guess what's going to happen next at this moment. I'm in. I'm still with you. And but I'm setting up my cash in case it drops after a dilution announcement.
Yeah.
That might not be popular. I don't really care. I don't fucking care.
That's the one thing too about like you said about the 100% investing and not doing that. How can you take advantage of an opportunity if you don't have cash ready, dry powder ready to take advantage of that opportunity?
That is a problem that a lot of people have, and I'm not oblivious to that. I get it. If you don't have cash, I understand why you're frustrated. But go get a second job. Do whatever it fucking takes, guys. In my
cut
20s,
some of your expenses that you don't need.
I just called AT&T today and cut $150 off my bill. I canceled last month about, I forget what it was, $500, $600, $700 worth of monthly expenses. Because guess what, guys? This is the time to cut costs and allocate that extra money to investments, not fucking Hulu and Netflix and
or the
whatever.
Too, like
Sirius XM radio. I cut all that shit because I want all of that money going to my investments, not just throwing it to some other fucking corporation.
Mm-hmm. Or even like there's nothing saying, that you can't eat out once in a while or drink once in a while, but like, there's a certain limit to it. And think about like that's one of the big things that a lot of the major investors do. Think about that thing you buy and how much capital you could allocate to something if you didn't buy that? Is it really as necessary as you think it is to buy that thing that isn't so necessary?
Johnny Mastalorian in the house. Hey, I sent you an invite on email if you want to join in and grace us with your presence. Hey, Johnny, let the people know that you and I are not fighting. Just come in and say hello. People love a great conspiracy theory. Mastalorian and Tony have not been doing live streams. They must have had a falling out.
Oh yeah,
No,
people do love a great conspiracy theory. It's why History Channel still somehow exists, even though they don't.
We all have
history.
lives. We all have lives, and we have different schedules. But anyways, I jump in his chats. Thank you, Johnny, for jumping in mine. Anyways, guys, yeah, now is the time to cut your expenses, get a second job, whatever it fucking takes. Right now, whatever you do right now in 2023, motherfuckers, your 2025 self will thank you for going the extra mile right now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fucking doubt me on this. This is the fucking time. And maybe not in April 2023. Maybe it will be July when the market crashes. This is the time to be ready to fucking pounce with your cash.
That seems
on
be
good companies that are beaten down and that are going to get broken, and everybody's morale gets decimated. Oh man, I live for those moments. I'm waiting for it to happen so bad.
That's it may be this summer, it may be end of this summer, because that seems to be what Eurodollar futures are pricing in. The curve moving from its inverted phase back to righting itself, which usually that's when it becomes uninverted. That's when the bad stuff happens, because that means suddenly everyone's pricing in that real growth in the future is much lower, and they start buying bonds and right the inversion.
Anya says the market has already crashed. Not even close, Anya.
No.
Nope.
Look at the
when you
curve.
Feel like you want to. I can't say it. I can't say it.
Look at the curve for bonds, current government bonds, until the 1 year comes down below longer dated bonds. There has been no risk. There has been no crash, because if people aren't scurrying to risk-free investments, even short-dated risk-free investments, then there has been no crash. That's the one thing that I hate every time people talk about, oh, the market will be better when we just have to wait for the Fed pivot. No. The Fed pivot is the sign that the market has shat the bed. They pull down rates when the market crashes.
When we go below maybe 360, we have the risk of going way below that.
Mm-hmm.
We're not anywhere close to a crash, and I don't think that we're done yet.
Yeah. We've been trading this narrow canal kind of where we're at since beginning of the year, pretty much.
When you guys feel like you never want to invest again, that's when the market crash will begin. And that's when I will be buying. That's when I will be buying every fucking blue chip out there. That's when I will be buying. And I want you guys to come along with that ride. I want you to get your cash in your brokerage account and just fucking sit on it and be ready for that moment. Look at this run up. Mm-hmm. Can you seriously tell me this is not overdone?
Yeah.
Look at that shit.
Yeah, draw that trend line all the way back from the last market crash we had in 2008 and tell me that that's not overdone.
I want you guys to win. Fucking work your asses off right now. Cut your costs. Sell whatever's not performing. Get a second job. Get a third job. Get fucking cash in your brokerage account and get fucking ready. Because when this crashes and you buy the good companies and you can hold it for 5 years, you're going to be fucking rich. I don't know what else to say. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Are you fucking ready? Are you going to come along for the ride?
Yeah. I know I'm ready personally. Like that's until this AMC play came up, I was basically couching in bonds. That's what I had been using as my dry powder, because when the crash does come, interest rates are going to come down. The face value of those bonds are going to come up. I can sell those bonds at the profit and then buy the stocks when they're cheap.
Anya says we're too negative. Anya, I wake up every day being positive, but I'm not ignorant of the economics.
Mhm.
My college education, Anya, is in economics, the Fed, banking. That is my background, and they're lying to you right now. I'm just telling you that.
Yeah, because a lot of what the Fed does is just painting a story and hoping that you'll follow along.
They're hoping. They've been hoping and lying to you for a year or more, because they don't want to create a panic. But the end result is inevitable, Anya. And I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, Anya. Let's get back to a bull market tomorrow. I'd be cool with that.
Or even just a good economy, not a roaring economy, because like, you know, when these things happen, people get fired, people lose jobs, bad things happen. And I don't want that, but it's kind of hard not to think that outcome is not what's in the future.
Someone said, should we start eating beans and rice? I don't know if you should start eating beans and rice, but you might want to buy some chickens.
Yeah, get those eggs going.
I got the eggs going. Correct. You probably haven't listened to my channel. I got 8 hens in the backyard. I got like 6 dozen eggs in the fridge.
Oh boy.
It's
the way to go.
It's an ongoing joke on this channel. We're ready for the food inflation crisis here. Anya says, don't tell me these preppers on YouTube are right. The preppers obviously are pushing an agenda, Anya. They're pushing the worst case scenario. I don't know that it's going to get worst case, but it's never a bad idea to prep a little bit, right? Have a couple, 2-3 months of your basic supplies.
Have a savings account in case you do get terminated, so that you can make it to your next job maybe a month or 2.
Yeah, if you've got a job, have a savings account, have some cash under the mattress, but not too much cash because of inflation, yada, yada, yada. Definitely don't have 250,000 over that in any bank account.
Yeah. Or at least in any of these regional banks.
Jake says pay off debt and no big money.
Yeah.
I was talking to some of my subs earlier today on a Discord chat, and they're like, Tony, why don't you talk about financial management more often? Like I probably should. I probably should do one day a week, just talking about like managing your finances. Like the basics is don't have debt. Don't have credit card debt. Don't buy new cars. Like, I feel like this is the basics, but if you guys want me to talk about that stuff and like how I live my life, I'm happy to talk about that. My life is, I drive a used car with how many miles I got on this car now? Almost pushing 300,000 miles.
Wow.
I live my life like no credit cards. Did I live that life in college where I had 20 credit cards? Yes, but I realized the error of my ways. And that is no way to live life, guys. You want to have one credit card with a minimal balance where you pay off the balance. You pay off 90% of it every month. You don't ever buy a new car unless you're obscenely wealthy, in which case it doesn't matter. I'm not going to judge you. I've owned Mercedes and BMWs. It's okay. If you're obscenely wealthy, buy whatever the fuck you want. But for most of us average people, you buy a used car and you drive it till the wheels fall off. And you don't hold a lot of credit card debt. So if you guys want to hear that kind of content, like what I've lived through from my 20s till my hundreds, where I'm at right now, I'm not really 100, I'm just kidding. But if you want to hear all of the mistakes I made and what the learnings I've made, I can make those videos for you. And I'm the problem is most of the people that watch my channel are my age and they already have learned from the mistakes. But for those of you that are in the 20s and 30s where everything is about name brands and want to drive the best car, this is not the way to live your best life financially.
That's the thing with a lot of people who do end up like wealthy, like not like crazy wealthy, but like, you know, comfortable, like you said, they don't need to worry about things. Is it's not so much about, you know, part of it is like their income stream, but it's just managing your expenses. Like, do you really need that thing? What's really, and managing debt, like a little bit of debt to get, you know, present flows, like you said, one credit card and then you immediately pay it off, you know, just to bridge gaps is good. But like obscene debt and things like that, that's always ruinous to anybody who tries to do it. Like you get these people who used to be highly wealthy, you know, like pension fund kids and everything. What's the first thing that ruins them? They spend their money, they get into debt, and then next thing they know, they're living in a shelter.
Yep. I've seen a lot of people that make $200,000 a year, but they've got $10,000 a month in fixed expenses. And if you lose your job, that will eat you alive in a couple seconds. Right?
Yep.
You got to live within your means. If you want to be a Warren Buffett, you drive a 1983 pickup truck.
And you live in Omaha, away from the big cities where the property prices are cheaper and the taxes are lower, and you don't live in these big cities like New York with the fancy high rises.
And it's funny because like I lived that life of like being caught up in the keeping up with everybody and impressing everybody. And then I learned the reality of like how to be financially okay for the rest of your life, like how not to work so hard and be a slave to a job. And let me tell you guys, it's so much nicer being on the other side.
For sure. Especially when you like that whole rat race of trying to keep up with the next person. Once you get rid of that and just be happy with, you know,
I lived that life for 20 fucking years. And then once I was able to like mentally step away from that and just like, you know what? I don't need name brands. I don't need a fancy car. I'm okay with driving an old vehicle. It looks great. I've got a nice house. I don't need name brand shit. I just need to be able to pay my bills and stack my fucking investments. When you can focus on what is important instead of what is wasting money, your life will change. It really will. If you can learn that lesson when you're in your 20s, oh man, you're going to be partying in Monaco when your peers are partying on Galveston Beach.
Well, it's getting a little late for me, but thank you for having me on, Tony. I really appreciate the shout out and everything and getting to talk with you and your viewers.
I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for sharing your tidbits and your knowledge. Hey, I respect you. From the little bit of your videos that I've seen, you seem like you had a good head on your shoulders. I've heard nothing different tonight that would make me say otherwise. Give us one more shout out for your channel for people that are listening in late.
Yeah, for sure. Noisy Korax on YouTube and on Twitter, Sunny Korax.
Sunny, tell us your Twitter handle spelled out.
Sunny Korax, SUNNYCORAX.
All right. Guys, this is my very first time ever talking to him, just in case you're wondering. I have watched him on YouTube a couple times, but he seems like he had a good head on his shoulders. Korax, I'm not like trying to neg you or something, but we've had a lot of bad experiences on this channel of people who seem okay and they end up being like loco.
No,
Anyways,
I understand that.
anyways, after talking to you for a couple hours, you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. So,
yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Gentlemen and ladies, I'm going to hang out for a few more minutes. We're going to let this kind gentleman head out for the night and appreciate his time. Go give him a sub. I think, look, if you're already watching my channel, you already know what's up. But if you need like some extra DD, he's a good one to go check out. What time is it? What time is it? 12:30. 9, 10, 3.5 hours. This is approaching epic live stream. Hey, someone posted in the, hey, Steven, are you still in here? Someone posted in the Discord that Steven and I should do a chess match where every piece on the chess table, is that the right word, is in a shot of tequila or a shot of vodka. And if you lose a piece, that you should take a shot. Steven, I'm up for that challenge. But I'm still going to add to that the 3-shot challenge. So you let me know. You let me know, amigo, if you're up for that. We're going to be fucking trashed. But it will be entertainment that will never be replicated on YouTube. Can you imagine every time Steven loses a piece or that I lose a piece, we have to take a shot because the piece is in a shot glass? Steven's like, oh shit. Oh man, I don't even want to know how I would feel the next day. I might not even survive. Like I might not live the next day. Sounds like a hospital visit for Steven. Steven doesn't know I have been carefully training with these live streams, and he is not. All right, Steven. Hey, you and I can talk about it. The 3-shot challenge is still on. If you want to up it, if you want to up the ante to make it super entertaining, Steven, seriously, you're probably going to wreck me in the first round. I'll be like 10. How many pieces are on a chessboard, Steven? Steven, how many pieces are on a chessboard? It's like 24. You're probably going to wreck me in the first round. That might be to your advantage. I'm just like throwing that out there. It might be fun. It's going to crucify me. But I'll throw that out there as like a opportunity for you to even the odds. $16 pieces per side. All right, 32 pieces. Wait, 16? Is that 8 plus 8? That seems low. Hey, Pam, have you seen Mario Brothers yet? Anya says, Stephen, can you not drink hard liquor? He said, Anya, he cannot drink hard liquor. 84 AMC says 16 each side. Oh, Stephen, you're in trouble. Good Lord. That might be the very first time you guys see me fall down on the floor and pass out and die. The trolls would love it. Tony Denaro dies on live stream. Oh, Lordy. Putin just launched nuclear ballistic missiles. What the fuck are you talking about? What are my thoughts about lending stocks in Robinhood? ATH, man. You can lend whatever you want, except if you're in a short squeeze play. That's my thoughts. Did I look it up? No. I'm in no position at this point in the night to look anything up. I'm just trusting you guys. Stephen, how many pieces are on a table each side? Steven says he hasn't had a shot of hard liquor since 2018. What the fuck, man? Do you make money on lending shares? Johnny, I don't make money on lending shares because I have all my share lending turned off, but you can, yes, make money on lending shares. 32 pieces total. Stephen, just imagine you, Stephen, imagine you punishing me in the first round, which you're certainly going to win the first round. Maybe I should reconsider. Like the 3-shot challenge sounds good, but if I had to do 20 shots in the first round, I'm definitely not going to win the second round. I might back out of this. This might not be the best play for me. I like the 3-shot challenge, Stephen. You let me know when you're ready. You let me know when you're feeling well. 3 shots, hard liquor, wait 15 minutes, begin a round. Best 2 out of 3. If I by some miracle win that, Stephen, which I'm sure I won't, then we'll do the 1 shot per piece challenge. All right. As we wrap this up, any other AMC 8 lawsuit questions? I know we kind of died off on all those. Hopefully we got everybody's questions answered early in the chat. Thank you for Korax for coming in and hanging out with us. Feed Jake says, I downed a bottle of Chivas Regal in my younger years. That was not fun. I can't even imagine downing a bottle of anything. Holy shit. In my younger years, guys, like high school, what did my friends drink? Southern Comfort was one. And then at some point in my early college years, I had a bad experience with vodka. I don't remember what the drink was, But it took me, I'm not going to lie, it took me a good decade to be able to smell vodka and not like throw up. Have y'all ever had that experience? I'm cool with vodka now. But I don't remember what the hell we were drinking back then. That like vodka just like messed me up. Johnny, what's up? When is my next stream? I just kind of do them as needed, Johnny. I would love to do like a daily live stream during the market hours, but the market's been shit. So most of the time I'm just like, I'm watching the market daily and hanging out in the Discord and talking with folks. But to live stream 6.5 hours when the market's running down, it's not that fun. I'm usually up around 5:30, sometimes 3:30, watching pre-market. But until the market really is worth live streaming all day, when it does, I'll be live streaming during the day. If there's some massive good play, I'll be live streaming during the day. Don't think I haven't gone anywhere. I'm up every morning, ready to live stream. But I got to weigh the value of doing that for $0 versus actually being productive in my life, working on something else, doing due diligence, getting a video ready, reading a book. Not like live streaming for 6.5 hours pays anything. David says, do you think the reverse split will go through the end of the month or will drag on? I think, David, that right now, based on the judge's letter today, that she probably wants to hear the briefs and that we won't know anything until the 27th. But what do I know? Thank you, Pam. Have a good night. Anya says maybe we need to move on to another stock. Pam, Anya, there's thousands of stocks out there. I cannot wait, Anya, for the day we can talk about other stuff. Like I'm happy to talk about stuff that you guys care about, but I would like to help you move on to other things. Also, we can still hold AMC, but there are other plays we can make money on. I wish we could like move to that point. And whether you like it or not, we're moving to that point. AMC is a fraction of my portfolio. But when I make a video about anything else, no one watches it. So if I'm going to spend 3 hours filming and editing a video and no one watches it, what's the fucking point? I need to find some people that want to like actually learn, separate from conspiracy theories and clickbait, and become a profitable trader into the future. That if that describes you, that's what I'm looking for. Those of you that want to hate CEOs and blame everybody else for your problems, just unsub from the channel. We're going to all be okay down the road, whether it's AMC, GameStop, or other plays. But we're going to do it based in reality. Is that cool? Such a fucking good time to buy stocks right now. Such a fucking... This is a moment, guys, literally in your life, when you're in a recessionary market, this is a moment in time that you're not going to have very often. Capture that moment. capture that moment by investing in companies that are solid and will recover out of this. The speculative trades, I will always be here right there with you in all of the speculative trades. I love them. But we're not going to YOLO our life savings into a speculative trade. Can we agree? We're not going to listen to clickbaiters or hopium dealers or people that talk about a bunch of bullshit with zero evidence. We will ride their momentum. We'll get in early, we'll get out early. And we will be here long after them. Because they're going to blow up their accounts. Wherever you're at in that journey, join us on the journey. It's okay if you feel like you're at the end of the journey, there's a new journey waiting ahead of you. Don't lose hope. Just stop listening to the bullshit. Tune into people who will teach you how to succeed. With that, I guess we should probably call it a night. I love you guys. I really do have your best at heart. Even I know it's not always what you want to hear. I get it. But what else to say? Somebody help me wrap it up. I'm going to read the comments here for a second. Steven says, imagine how much money we're going to make in the next bull market. That is what I'm focused on, my friend. I got cash piled up. I'm just praying for a market crash. I don't want a market crash, but if it happens, I'm going all in at that point. AMC to the moon, Anya says. We always wish for that, Anya. Every day I wake up. It's literally the first stock I check every morning, Anya. I'm right along in the ride with you guys. I love the movie industry. I think in the long term that AMC is going to be fine. In the short term, like I said, we're not in 2021 anymore. But this company is going to be fine. So I'm going to keep covering it. Why? Not because I love Adam Aaron, not because I'm paid. Because I think that the industry is in a recovery and they got a shot. But be smart about it. Hang your cash on the side right now. If it drops in the dilution, you know that's coming. That's not a secret. Hang your cash on the side. And if you love this company, you might have an opportunity to buy it cheaper. I don't know. My crystal ball is not that good. But you might. If it drops, I'm going to buy some more. Because I don't think people want to watch movies on their TV screen. Someone 3 hours ago said, oh, it's going to drop to $5. $5, motherfucker, would be 50 cents right now. You don't think I'm going to buy this shit at 50 cents? Come on. I wish it would go to 50 cents. But I think that the movie industry is going to recover. So don't follow my trades. I'm just some dumbass. Do your own DD. G4 says, what about a crypto crash? Would you buy in? If a crypto crashes, yes, I would buy in. I sold off the bulk of my crypto. That's not a secret. I've talked about that. I have some Bitcoin, Ethereum, Phantom. The bulk of my crypto is in cash, and I'm still expecting a crash. But I am more conservative than most, and I don't know that I'm right. If it crashes, I will buy more. Yes. Trevor says, when is Super Steven coming on for the drinking competition? I don't know. He was invited tonight. We have a pending chess match when he's feeling up to it. Brian says, what about buying more APE if it goes under $1? Brian, my thoughts on APE versus AMC. All right, one more time. Arbitrage price of APE versus AMC based on everything I'm seeing and the market caps and the share count. I'm going to repeat what I've said. My opinion is that if APE is 0.5%, 50% of the AMC price, it's a good buy. So let's just say if AMC is at $4 and APE is $1.60, you should buy APE. That's not investment advice. I'm just saying for arbitrage play, if it goes to conversion and reverse split, you should be okay. But I don't know because we got lawsuit risk. So, I mean, the ideal time to buy APE was when it was at 66 cents. But in general, AMC times 0.5, if it's less than that on APE, that should be an okay buy if you're a gambler and if you are expecting that the conversion will eventually happen. Do I think the court could require a shareholder vote? No. The vote already happened. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please don't fire me for calling you ladies. Did y'all hear about that in Massachusetts? That guy that got fired for calling people ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, as we say in Texas, and in Texas we say fuck you if you don't like manners. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight to the Tony Denaro Show. Not financial advice. Just we try and read filings. We're trying to help y'all navigate through the nonsense, through the clickbait, through the hopium, through the people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And no, that is not me hating on anybody. I'm not hating on anybody. If you got some evidence and you got some facts, you're welcome on the channel anytime. Come talk about it. If the basis of your channel is insulting people, doxing them, calling them names, then you've already shown your weakness. You will never be on this channel. Korax tonight, I had no fucking idea what he's going to talk about, but I know that he's been a legit cover. He's provided legit coverage of this play without attacking anybody. I respect that. I respect people that can cover due diligence without defaulting to personal attacks. When you default to a personal attack, you're showing weakness in your own due diligence and your own conviction. So I say to everybody, be better. Those of you that have already failed the test, you're never going to come on this channel. Those of you who subscribe, view, watch, and are future guests in this channel, I love all of you. I will see you on the next one. Have a good night. Peace out.